Hello and welcome to the DisplayShelf podcast, where the boys are previewing Wrestlemania 41. My name is Garrett. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. My name is Garrett. I am joined today by Isaac.
Hello. Pleasure to be here.
And Jacob.
Good day, gentlemen. Pleasure to be here. Ready for some WrestleMania talk.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
It is exciting. So we're about a week out. So before we get into the whole WrestleMania thing, a couple of disclaimers. We are recording this the Sunday before WrestleMania. So the Go Home Raw and the Go Home SmackDown have not happened. So if stuff happens there, we're not going to talk about it because we don't know that it's happened. So if The Rock shows up and like the main event of night 2 becomes a triple threat for some reason, we don't know about it. So yeah, get
man.
that out of the way. Anyway, how are you guys doing?
Doing swell. Been watching a lot of wrestling and collecting some stuff and raring to go.
Yeah, just kind of excited for the week ahead here. It's gonna be a holiday week for Easter too, and then you have WrestleMania, which is crazy that it happens at the same time, but it's gonna be an interesting week coming up. It's gonna be pretty busy.
Yeah, WrestleMania being on Easter weekend is a very interesting choice.
Yeah, it kind of throws a wrench into some plans, but you know,
Definitely.
we move.
Yeah. But before we get into WrestleMania, we are in fact a podcast of collectors. So, Isaac, have you picked up anything over the past couple of weeks?
I've picked up a couple things, nothing too crazy. I was able to find I think they're called the Azure Legends Pokemon tins at Target the other day. So I picked up the Kyogre tin and the Dialga tin. Nothing too crazy out of my packs, but it was nice to be able to open some packs again. I say nothing too crazy, but I pulled the gold hyper rare Raging Bolt from Temporal Forces. But I guess other than that, I didn't get a whole lot. But you know, in the current market of Pokemon cards, it's nice to just be able to find something and scratch that itch of opening up some packs. I also, you know, we were talking about the Pokemon Mega Blocks, you know, little Pokeballs things last episode. I picked up a couple more. I haven't built them yet, but because I just recently picked them up and haven't had a chance. But I picked up the Pumpkaboo in a Great Ball, and then I also picked up the Rotom in, for some reason, I think it's in a Lure Ball. So that's odd, but
yeah, gameplay wise, that doesn't make sense, but it's kind of interesting that they put a Rotom in a Lure Ball, but you know.
Yeah, you know, the Pokeball meant for, you know, Pokemon that you catch fishing for a ghost electric type that lives in a television. But, you know, they're going to do what they do. And then the last quick thing I picked up, it was kind of on a whim because it was $10. Target had, you know, those little like stands that you can put your controllers on and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So Target had a Call of Duty Monkey Bomb for like $10 for that. Ooh. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it because at $10, you can't tell me not to get that. After the rant I went on last episode about how much I love Call of Duty Zombies, it's like it would be a disservice to my own morals to not pick it up. So that really wraps it up for me. Nothing too crazy.
Nice. Jacob, what about you? And while you go through that, I'm going to let the cat out of the room.
All right. Well, let's see. Recently, this one I've only gotten probably 5 total packs. I went to Target. And speaking of that Target that you were talking about earlier, they officially put a limit on how many you can get in a day, so you can get excuse me, you can only get 2 total products per day per customer, which I think that'll help a little bit. I mean, there are probably going to be a ton of people coming in and grabbing them still, but that kind of made it to the point where there actually was some cards to grab at the store, and I was able to get the Ogre Pond stacking tin, which, crazy enough, that's the only stacking tin they had, and it's the only tin that I needed from the stacking tins, which was amazing. That was just perfect. And they also had a few different things like the triple packs of Paldea Evolved, which I didn't need. I already had the promo cards, so I didn't need to get that. But the packs would be pretty nice to get. But there was a trio of legendary birds that I didn't know that existed. Like there was a promo, and they weren't actually promo listed, but they were in like a promo style. But they actually were numbered cards from a certain set that I can't remember. But I got that and had 2 packs in it, and I hit on 4 to 5, so I had a pretty good day with those packs. So I'll take it.
Dang, not bad. That's good odds.
Yeah, still no WWE cards. I'm trying to find those that had none, but I tried.
I've been looking because like yeah, those are cool.
They even have AEW. Those were out too.
Yeah, they do. I thought about picking up a set of those, but they only come in the big boxes, and they're like $40 a piece. And honestly, I probably have not watched AEW on like a religious basis, for lack of better term. I'm not sure why I chose that term. But for probably since Punk left.
Yeah. I mean, they really only want. I'd only want like an MJF card if they had that in there.
Oh yeah,
and that's like probably like very hard to get.
MJF, a Danielson, maybe
Danielson would be good too.
Something like that.
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm. Okay, I was just thinking about this earlier. I was seeing clips of Tony Storm on probably Collision or something on commentary. She's just so funny to the point that I almost want to go back and watch it. And then I remember that the stuff with Moxley's going on right now that is not very good. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, it's like you see all those clips of Tony Storm and you're like, oh, this is great. Why am I not watching this? And then you remember you have to watch the rest of it.
Right. And like from what I'm hearing, because like, let's be real here, there's only so many hours in the week and all of this other stuff, right? From what I'm hearing, it's like everything is pretty good to great except for the main event scene. And it's like, that's what needs to be good.
Right. It's kind of important to nail down.
So it's interesting. And I come at that from just like general consensus. I'm saying that out of general consensus, but I don't know because I have not watched in a pretty decent while. So yeah.
I've seen some clips, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it's all clips. Mostly Tony Storm. She seems to be doing really well. Yeah.
She is indeed.
So I guess that just leaves me.
Indeed it does.
I'm going to try and do the gimmick where I turn the camera on the audio podcast. And it worked. I'm like, different angle, all of this fun stuff. My gosh, my room is a mess. Anyway, I finally found the new sculpt R2-D2 from Star Wars Black Series. I had to get it on the Return of the Jedi retro card, which is now in the garbage. So sorry for carded collectors, but this thing is awesome. It's all properly 6-inch scale now. It's got all of the Moses. This is hard to pop open for some reason. Come on. Okay, I'm not doing it. All of the accessories store inside of the body, so it's really nice. And then I'm kind of trying to lightning round this. Picked up G.I. Joe Classified Xandar over at Wally World. And then at our local toy store, the ones that I have not had a chance to open, to go with Xandar, Zorana from G.I. Joe Classified, and a WWE Elite Moses. Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
Actually, yeah, from WrestleMania 27.
Cool.
So
Wow.
this was career versus streak. That's going to be a fun one to have. I needed a Shawn, and he had that one. So there you go. I'm going to turn off the camera now. So, yeah. Good figures all around. Xandar, I've got some, like, minor articulation-based complaints about, but, you know, we're not going to get into those here.
Yeah. They look like nice figures.
Yeah. Plus,
Dude,
you
you
know,
got some good stuff this week.
yeah. Plus, any dreadnoughts that we can add to the collection. It's like a biker gang, you know, they're awesome. So, yeah. I think I'm only missing a couple. Plus,
Nice. Got to complete that collection soon.
Absolutely. I don't have Zartan though. That's the one thing, is that I missed the boat on Zartan. I'm hoping they do like a retro card release here pretty soon. That way we can get that all done up. But yeah. There you go.
Nice.
And that is my collection check-in.
Yeah. I do want to say, I really like that we do this segment because, to be honest with you, before we started recording the podcast, I wasn't really out collecting a whole lot, like going to the stores and whatnot on a frequent basis.
Yeah.
But the Wednesday rolled around last week and I was like, oh, I haven't picked up anything since the last podcast. I'm going to stop into Target real quick after work here and just see what they've got so I can have something to say on the podcast.
That's
so
funny.
like it's encouraging me to go spend money, which, you know, take that how you will.
Right.
We're hooked. Yeah, we're hooked now. It's like we gotta get something every time we record. We gotta get something. It's gotta be anything.
I mean, you don't have to. You're allowed to come on the podcast and say, you know what? I just did not have a chance to this week.
That's true. It's true, but
That's true, but that's lame.
That's
I'm gonna buy stuff. I'm gonna spend money.
That's lame.
Yeah, well, you know.
But Pokemon cards.
But Pokemon cards, but Mega Blocks, but
But
a
toys.
$10 Monkey Bomb.
Yeah. That was only $10 though.
Yeah, it was on clearance.
Ah, nice. Dude,
Wow.
Target clearance, I tell you what.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was actually, so I think it was like $25 initially, and it was tagged at, I think it was 20 on the price tag, and I was like,
Man.
gonna check on that because I doubt they're updating their clearance prices regularly. And so I scanned it in, it was like $9.46. I was like, huh.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think they have a code system. I read somewhere that like you can look at the code. I don't not the SKU, but like whatever like clearance code it's got. And if it ends in a certain number, then it'll be marked down at X date. And so like you can like hide it and wait for it to go down, and then eventually it'll be like $3.
Huh.
But yeah.
Interesting.
I've never tried that theory, but nor do I remember the code off the top of my head.
Something to look into.
I tell you who's been like really weird on the clearance in the past. I don't know if it's the past couple of weeks, or did I talk about my Walmart clearance experience on the last podcast? I must have, because I showed off the Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so basically, long story short, that was like $17 when they're normally like, or it was less than that. It was like $12 when they're normally like 20 something. And then they had these brand new Transformers, and we have a friend, or I don't know what you guys' status with him is, but I've got a buddy that collects the Transformers a lot, and I'm like, these are brand new. Why are they in the clearance for $17 when they're supposed to be $35? So, yeah. Anyway, watch your Walmart clearance sections. I've been seeing a lot of weird activity there on the social medias and whatnot. Boy, I sounded old.
The old social medias that didn't exist back in my day.
Exactly.
Back in my day, we had Twitter, not X.
Real.
Well, I believe that is all of our collection check-in. So, gentlemen, I believe it's time to talk about some WrestleMania.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it. Before we get too deep into, looking through the cards and whatnot, I have some stuff that I want to complain about because it's been annoying me.
Just
very much
real
so.
quick, peeling back the curtain, we do like a format sheet for each one of these, like an outline type of thing. And I hop on there this morning, and I just see Isaac's quick complaining session on the outline. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. So let's see what we got here, Isaac. What you got for us?
I think we need like on our outline, we need like a like weekly complaining sessions in general. Like, what are we mad about this week?
Yeah.
New segment dropping soon.
Yeah, if we didn't have a time that we needed to be off of here by, I would have put on the Marvel Legends Maximum Hulk, because I think that there's a debate to be had on that one, but we'll save that for next week, I guess.
Yeah, that works.
Or next podcast, not next week. But
all right, let's do some complaining.
Yeah, let's complain, Isaac. What you got for us?
So my complaint revolves around one of my favorite, just recently returned wrestlers, and it's been really bothering me. So Alexa Bliss has just been completely, just like gone. She has not shown back up since Elimination Chamber, which at the time of recording I think was like 7 weeks ago, March 1st. No sign of her even being there. No, nothing. No, not even any hints. No video packages. No like backstage segments. Just nothing. Just she's been just straight gone. And it's been making me very mad, obviously, because she's one of my favorites. I'd like to see her on my television screen once in a while. I know they had that whole European tour, and maybe they didn't want to take her or whatever like that, but whatever. Some form of acknowledgement would be nice. But I'm just thinking, because like if you think back to the Rumble, right? When she came out at number 21 in the Women's Rumble, that was one of the loudest pops for anybody that I've ever heard. I know I've only been watching wrestling for about a year and a half now, but like in terms of Rumble pops, I feel like that has to be up there, at least for the past few years. So to be getting that kind of reaction, and then you go to Elimination Chamber, at least for the women's, she was getting the loudest reactions. People were booing when she got eliminated. And the fact that there's been no plans or nothing for her, leading up to Mania is, frankly, to me, and I know I'm biased, but it's kind of appalling.
Oh my.
You have someone that's, yeah, I know I'm bringing out the big boy words for this little complaining session here. It's just weird that they bring her back to such a great reaction and then just have nothing. Now this is barring on the fact or the idea that there isn't some secret plan, because I know there was a news article or something like that came out maybe a month ago at this point, so who knows how accurate it still is, but it did say that they initially had some pretty big plans for her at WrestleMania involving the Wyatts. So that could still be like a surprise, like at the end of a match, just be like, hey,
We're
the
here.
Wyatts are here.
Yeah.
We're here. Yeah. But yeah. And so I'm going to fantasy book for a second here because it's been annoying me so much that she hasn't shown up. They had one of the easiest setups for a feud for her that I've seen in a while. So you think back to Rumble. It's her big moment. She finally came back after a 2-year hiatus. You know, everyone loves her. And then about 10 minutes into the Rumble, she gets eliminated. Do you guys remember who eliminated her? Because I do.
Statistically, Charlotte Flair.
So, yeah.
That's a good guess.
Jordan Grace?
No, it was Liv Morgan.
Oh, and that would have been a good feud, too.
Codebreaker on the outside of the ring.
That's
or on the apron.
right.
Flash forward.
That would have been good.
Yeah, flash forward a month to Elimination Chamber. The last 3 people in the chamber, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Liv Morgan. Alexa hits the Abigail DDT on Bianca. Bianca's down. She's stunned. You could go for the cover. But instead of going for Bianca, for some reason, Liv rolls up Alexa and eliminates her. I mean, I feel like the feud kind of writes itself there. And then if you really want to get into fantasy booking here, I know I've seen a lot of people are like, yeah, the Wyatts are going to come after the Judgment Day after what they did to Damian and Rhea.
Right.
So there's your in. You have Alexa versus Liv at Mania, and that how you will. And then you can immediately jump into like a summer feud between the Judgment Day and the Wyatts. I feel like it's right there. And feel free to disagree with me there because, like I said, I'm extremely biased here. But yeah, I'm not thrilled.
I mean, I think that there are a lot of questions to be asked. And I know we've got 4 women's focus matches on the card.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like there is this there are a lot of questions to be asked about the booking of the women's division, period.
Yeah.
And something that I was going to talk about when we get to their match, but this Liv, Raquel, Bayley, Lyra match is really weird to me because it's like, are we trying to build this IC championship as something important, or is it just an extra little prop that Lyra Valkyria is having during this match? It doesn't mean anything to that match. There's no point for it to be there. And sure, she could defend it on Monday. She could defend it the Monday after WrestleMania, whatever. But if these titles are so important, which they're titles, they should be important, right? Why are they not on WrestleMania? And I think that the IC championship would have been a good spot for Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, or even if you wanted to do the women's, or the women, the US.
Yeah,
because look at the sheet. The US champion Chelsea Green isn't even booked. At least Lyra has a match.
right. And this might not make sense, but kind of makes sense that Chelsea Green's character is not booked on Mania, but just as kind of like, I'm a heel, I don't really want to defend the title, etc. But I mean, it's the biggest show of the year, and she's one of the more over characters in the WWE. And I think that it's also really interesting, and again, another discussion to be had. I don't think that the Intercontinental Championship is working in the women's division. I think that the US is, but I think that that's just because it's Chelsea Green making the belt. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Because
I actually feel the opposite way. I feel like
really.
oh yeah, I feel like the IC is, at the start it was rough.
Yeah.
We'll be honest there. It was really rough. The first month or so that Lyra had the title, they really just didn't even have her show up other than to sit in the crowd or do one of those in between ad break segments. But as of lately, they've been doing a lot of title defenses and a lot of, trying to build a lot of storylines around the IC belt. Because you had the whole Ivy Nile thing. Obviously, right now, you have the whole Bailey, what's going on there type of thing. Right. Which, we'll get into that a little bit more once we actually get to talking about this match. But I feel like now I'm seeing more title defenses and whatnot out of Lyra than I am Chelsea.
Yeah, but I also think that that's a character thing. Because, like, Chelsea has this... She's a heel, number one. And then number two, she's got the Secret Harvest to back her up. And to, for all intents and purposes, do the work for her. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the point of the character, at least in my opinion. And because you're not able to as easily get into a match or and there's this constant interference, it makes that belt harder to obtain. And thus I think that, and maybe it's an entertainment thing too. So maybe I just find the US belt on Chelsea Green more entertaining than I do the Intercontinental Championship belt. Because, I mean, of the matches that Lyra Valkyria has had as champion, how many of them are, like, really good? Like, how many of them are we talking about at the water cooler next week, or even in our group chat as Raw goes on,
Fair, yeah. I guess the only other thing I'd say about the US is that you're absolutely right about, her being a heel and having the Secret Harvest, do stuff for her. But you look at the feuds she's had, even if there's not been, that many matches, she's had a feud with Michin, which lasted, like 3 months?
Yeah.
And had 4 title defenses against her. And now we're in with Zelina.
Right.
But I think that's been it.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I
that's my main complaint.
I see what you mean on that point, but yeah. I'm still of the, yeah, okay, maybe that is weaker than I thought, but I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You might have changed my mind on that one, but on the Intercontinental one though, I don't know. I don't feel like if the Intercontinental title belt is supposed to be this work rate championship, this is the belt for the people that know how to wrestle. We've had some like mid to sloppy matches with Raquel, with Ivy. The Ivy Nile match was not as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in that. The Raquel one was aggressively fine, if not clunky in places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It happened, yeah.
And then who else has she face? Dakota Kai again?
Dakota Kai, yeah.
Those matches are always good.
Yeah. She had Bailey this past Monday. And that was pretty good.
That one was good. I will say that, but I mean, it is Bailey.
That's true.
Bailey is a good wrestler. But I don't know. I think that if for Mania we would have put like an Alexa Bliss or somebody into that IC scene, injected a little bit of, I don't want to say star power because I don't want to take away from like Dakota Kai or anybody in that, but you know, it is a mid-card women's belt.
But yeah, you put someone of that caliber in there, it adds a little bit of oomph to it.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of oomph to it, and it makes it to where it's like, okay,
it's like, hey, we should care about these belts.
Yes, thank you. I lost my train of thought there. I'm jet lagged. I was in Vegas last week. Yeah.
Yeah, so now that the complaining is just about wrapped up, unless you have anything else to complain about.
I mean, I've got a lot to complain about, but we'll get into it with the matches.
Yeah. Mine was more of just like a general complaint of why isn't this happening. So the last thing before we jump into the matches, I do want to drop a quick disclaimer, and I think it's fairly obvious with the discussion we just had at this point. So there's, as we said, there's 4 women's matches on this card. I'm going to rip and tear into at least 3 of them.
Oh gosh.
So I want to make it clear now that no, I don't hate women. I don't hate the women's scene. In fact, I've gone on record with these two of saying that I care more about the women's division than the men's. So don't hate me when I bash basically the entirety of the women's division on the WrestleMania card here.
Not the division, but the booking of the division.
The booking of the division,
And again, kind of like to reiterate what I was saying earlier, and I'm sorry if you can hear the cat. The booking of the women's division is weird right now. To the point that like, I don't know. It's just really weird. It's really weird. It's
very strange.
It seems like they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do right now with the women's division.
It's like we have too many belts, and it's not good.
Right. I think what you do is you put Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss on like the top and forever. That's what I would do.
Hey, I'm down. Let's do it. And then a certain somebody that I'm not going to mention right now, get her out.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I guess
I'm not going to name the names here.
Let's get on with the card and let's see what we're thinking about these storylines and the matches and whatnot.
So on Friday's SmackDown, they released the cards for night 1 and night 2, not necessarily in order, I don't think.
Oh, they
other than the main events, but
cool.
They revealed what matches are going to be on what night and whatnot. So we have them listed here. So I'll go ahead and bring us into night 1 with the first match on our list that was kind of shadow dropped the other day as being announced. The War Raiders, who are the tag team champions on Raw, versus the New Day for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. This match exists. What do you guys think?
It does.
Yeah. It exists. I don't know. I don't really know how it's going to play out, but I would give the New Day the edge, but I'm not sure if what's going to happen. Like if it's going to be anything like crazy in the middle of the match, or just going to be a normal tag team championship. Which, I mean, something always comes up, but I don't know. It's definitely a match of all time, I would say.
It's a match.
It's-
I like that.
It's
a
one of
match
the matches.
It's one of the
Yeah.
matches on night one.
No,
It's one of the matches that has appeared on a WrestleMania.
That's true, and you can never take that away from him. You can
Nope.
never
Never
take it
take it
away.
away.
you can never take that away unless something happens.
Yeah. Unless The Rock comes in and has that promo.
You know what?
You know what?
Oh my
I'm actually down. I ain't gonna lie.
gosh. I think, and this is me having, like, I don't want to say been around for a while, but you know what I mean. The War Raiders is one half of one of my favorite matches of all time, being the War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet at TakeOver New York, which would have been the NXT show before Mania 35. These guys, if this match is given the time and given the go ahead to be as good as it can be, this could be an amazing match. That being said, I think this is going to be probably like a nice, good, solid 6-7 out of 10.
That's my thought as well.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'm ready to be impressed, but and I don't know, I know there's been a lot of injuries on the War Raiders and all of that, so I don't know if they can necessarily do a lot of the stuff that they were doing in that match that I was talking about earlier, but yeah. I think this has a high ceiling. I just want to see if they can touch it or not.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think this is the time with the whole New Day turn a few months ago. This is the make or break. If it's not already broken, to be honest with you. But if this isn't like if they don't win, so I'll say this. My bold prediction is that somehow Big E is going to cost them. So either if that doesn't happen or they don't win the titles, I think you can really treat it as a failed heel turn.
Could he be like that? Maybe like a guest announcer or something for that match, or
He could, yeah.
He could be,
cool.
yeah.
and then like they'll see him and there'll be some kind of altercation or something. And they get distracted and lose. I could see that.
If that happens, though, and this is just me, right? If that happens, though, I would personally not want Big E involved unless he's ready to work, which take his time, recover. He broke his neck, so I mean, don't rush into anything, etc. It's all up to him. I'm not saying that that's what we should do, but if he's ring ready, I'd be fine with him being involved. Or if he says, you know what, I can't compete, but this guy is gonna kick you guys' rear end, and it's Obafemi or another superstar or something like that's gonna get the call up or something like that, akin to the one feller that showed up and then had some legal issues that we're not going to discuss here.
Yeah.
I forget
Who
that was.
I think he was cleared, actually, but that
either way, he was fired.
Time.
Yeah. But yeah. But I think that the New Day needs to win this match, because otherwise we've turned them heel and they kind of haven't done anything since. And they need to do something.
They need to do something.
So I say give the New Day the belts. Let them.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah. Should we lock in official predictions. That way, on our post-Mania card, we can look back and judge ourselves.
Yeah, we should probably write these down too. I can write these down.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea. And we can see how wrong and right we were.
Yeah.
We'll be 10 out of 10 for sure.
My pen is dead. How awesome is
Cool.
Do we want me to write them down or?
Maybe the ink is frozen. Okay, who knows? Anyway, sure. Whoever wants to write them down can write them down.
I'll take care of that.
All right, I
My
appreciate
sticky
it.
notes with me. No problem. Okay, we're all predicting New Day then.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm
New
calling
Day.
New
That's
Day.
what I am. Yep. New Day. All right. Sounds good to me.
All right. Whoever is introducing the next matches, please do it while I let the cat out again. He's being weird.
Okay. So our next match is kind of another one that is kind of like, okay, it's here. So we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Actually, I thought at first this was Dominic Mysterio for some reason versus El Grande, but it's Rey Mysterio.
It's Rey, yeah.
Okay.
Dom's involved later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The main thing I'll say about this match is that it is a shame that Chad Gable is missing WrestleMania.
That's a bummer. Yeah,
What a bummer that is.
I'm not sure where he's at, but
He's sick. He has a doctor's note.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He does have a doctor's note, and yeah. So, I am curious to see who El Grande Americano is. I'm sure it's not Chad Gable, but
No, definitely not.
yeah. Well, realistically, my thought for this one is that El Grande Americano is going to lose it's going to be unveiled that it's Chad Gable, and he's going to lose. Is my guess.
Yeah, that's about where I'm standing too. Is that
Yeah, they should make
Rey is going to win and reveal who El Grande Americano is. My hope is that it's not Chad Gable and it's just some random dude.
It's Gad Chable.
It's Gad Chable. It's his brother.
This will sound dumb, and like obviously it won't be who they've had in the mask, but like I think it'd be really cool if they did a entire El Grande Americano match, and then they unmask him, and it's Jason Jordan, who was Gable's tag partner when he came up from NXT. I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be good.
I don't know if he's again, there's another wrestler that I don't know what the injury status is there, because I think that was also neck issues. And obviously don't,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, this
part of me
should be mask versus mask.
That would be great.
They should announce that on Raw. I think that would be great. They should do a contract signing for this.
Yes.
Imagine if we got
give El Grande Americano like a suit and the mask, and let him cut a promo in Spanish. I think that could be amazing.
Yeah, that would be spectacular.
But like really broken Spanish, because that's kind of the whole point of the gimmick, which is moderately problematic, but not.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how you guys felt about this character, because here's my thing. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of meltdowns about this character, and to me, from the get-go, he seemed like the biggest joke character I've ever seen, and the fact that there's anybody taking it seriously is insane to me. Like the whole
it's a joke
Gulf of America thing.
That's the
when they're like, oh yeah, he's hailing from the Gulf of America. Like immediately to me, that was okay. They're making fun of the whole Gulf of America thing, not hey, he's from here.
Yeah, exactly. They're not, guys. He's not a legitimate luchador. He does some cool luchador type stuff, and he wears a mask, but like very obviously he's not a legit luchador. I think that it's very interesting, the alleged, because I don't know if we got confirmation or not, use of AI in the original video package. I think you probably could have paid somebody to Photoshop some of that stuff, but if you're gonna use it for this completely, who in storyline is probably going to be outed as a fabricated luchador, I think it works. You know what I mean? Not that I'm saying that AI should take the place of any form of creative job or anything like that, because it definitely should not. But if you're doing it to draw heat as a professional wrestling heel, I think it'd be okay.
Yeah, I guess, and especially for a joke character, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah.
and that would turn a lot of, like, even that's even more heel to use AI in your video package. That's like super heel. Like that's
Right.
like that's just like, it's like how to make people angrier.
That, and like the whole point of it is that you're looking at El Grande Americano and you're like, this is not a legitimate dude. And you can look at the video package and say, that guy has 6 fingers. This is AI. You're making this up. But yeah.
But I know it's not gonna happen. But I would like to see like like okay, it's like, okay, tune into the video board, and it's like Chad Gable getting a checkup at the doctor, and that'd be kind of cool. Just it's like, oh, wait, it's not Chad Gable, and then Chad Gable walks in, and it's like Chad Gable and El Grande Americano are face to face. Like, oh, it's not Chad Gable. Now that would be a wild ride,
Yeah.
and I'm in for it. But yeah, my prediction would be like Grande Americano is going to lose his mask and going to lose. It's going to be Chad Gable.
Same here. Isaac, are you with us?
I'm going to put that down.
He might have hit he hit the mute.
My mic was muted.
Mic. Yep.
So hopefully I didn't say anything important in the last minute or so. But I was thinking it's probably going to be a pretty good match, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's going to be great.
You look at it, it's Rey Mysterio, who is in his 50s now, but still, like, he can still go and look like he's 30.
Matches at WrestleMania 39 against Dom.
Yeah, that was good. That one I do remember. And then, on the other side of the coin, you have, not Chad Gable, who is one of the best in-ring workers that the company has. I think it's going to be a pretty solid match.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's
just another one of those where I'm like, why is this here? Like, when it got announced, I was like, really? We're putting this on Mania? Okay, sure. Why not?
I'm fine with it. I mean, you need something. There's a lot of very serious matches on this card. Something like the Jade Cargill. I mean, even on night one, Gunther versus Jey Uso is pretty serious.
Yeah.
The Roman Reigns, the triple threat there, pretty serious feud. Be honest with you, I'm not sure where the label sits on the LA Knight match, but Gunther versus Jey Uso, Tiffany versus Charlotte are all pretty serious matches. To me, you need something to kind of break that up. Have a little fun.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So, official predictions are Rey Mysterio across the board?
Yes, I would say Rey Mysterio across the board. Then bonus points if the mask is unveiled and it's Chad Gable.
Yeah, I agree. Rey Mysterio.
Now, actually, do you think Rey Mysterio takes his mask off in this?
Yeah.
He's got to.
That Rey takes his own mask off? Like his mask comes off?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't. That would be. Yeah, I don't think so either. But That's another thing that I'm like, I wonder if it's like, hey, I'll take my mask off if you take your mask off.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. But yeah, I don't think it'll
like,
happen.
Like I say, I think that on Monday we should make this a mask versus mask, so whoever loses has to be unmasked.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
That could be great.
And yeah, ain't no way Rey Mysterio's losing.
No.
No chance.
Nope.
No. Might be one of the most predictable matches on the card.
Yeah, this is a babyface comedy match, and I'm all here for it. It's gonna be a good one though.
It is going to be very good.
Indeed.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
Yep.
Ready.
All right. So next up is, I mentioned in my disclaimer that I was going to bash at least 3 of the matches. This is the one match that I'm not going to have too much bad to say. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I'm excited.
You gonna be bashing?
I was actually going to ask
Liv
you
Morgan?
if this was the.
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh.
I can be biased and still fair.
Oh my.
Well, this is actually the match that I thought you were not going to for sure. I'm glad you said that because I was going to say, is this the one you're not going to be bashing? Because the storyline for this one has some interest to it. To me,
this one's
so
cooked.
This one's going to cook. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me thinks.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So I was going to say, like, part of me doesn't really know how this is going to go, but part of me wants Jade to win, but I don't know what's going to happen.
I think you almost have to have Jade win.
Yeah.
Because the part of okay, not to like analyze this like a legitimate shoot competition, right? But like part of Jade's credibility as a performer is that she has only lost twice in her career. And I believe that is true if I go and look at Cage Match. I think both of them were Chris Statlander in AEW.
3 then. She lost to Liv a couple weeks ago.
Oh, right. Yep.
Shout out my goat.
Yeah, I missed that episode. Yeah, so 3 times in her entire career, and she's still pretty new to this. If you have her lose to Naomi, we have to question that credibility. Now, is that okay because Naomi is this really cool heel character now? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be more than okay to have Naomi win this. Yeah. I think I agree Jade should, but I would be 100% okay because I feel like her heel turn has been fantastic. And I don't know if you guys saw the other day on SmackDown, they did a little video for video, style thing where they had Naomi cut a promo on a video and then Jade. Naomi knocked it out of the park, and honestly, so did Jade. Yeah. So I've always been, storyline is more important than the actual wrestling for me, which, we're talking about a wrestling company, so that might be crazy to say, but
right.
The storyline's always been, on a higher tier. Dog's going crazy.
It's the pet episode of the show today. All of the animals are going crazy because we're doing this at a different time than usual. I'm
gonna need a break for a second to see what she's up to. So
yeah, you're good. I'm gonna talk about Jade and Naomi for a second. The one thing I'm worried about on this match is the actual quality of the in-ring. Naomi is pretty good in terms of the in-ring, so I'd be interested to see if she winds up carrying Jade in this match, because like Jade Cargill is a good sound wrestler until something goes wrong in the match. We've seen it before with, I want to say, the Liv and Raquel tag match where something didn't quite go, or it was a triple threat at Clash at the Castle. Something didn't quite go to plan. she got out of rhythm, something like that, and it was just awkward.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if there's any of that in this match, and if that winds up like causing the quality of the match to go down as a result. I don't know. What do you think, Jacob?
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I could see that happening. I don't know. I do worry. Because I know there's a tendency for like mistakes to happen, and this is a night where it can't. Like, you just can't have it happen.
I mean, he can.
You don't want
to.
If you can,
it's like performing on stage, right? I mean, I guess it is performing on stage, but like, as long as you don't let on that a mistake was occurred, then we're good. But the problem is that there's this pattern that exists with Jade right now that it's when something goes wrong, it's gonna be like kind of awkward to get back into rhythm for a couple minutes.
Yeah, like you have to be able to play it off. And you're right. Like there's been a tendency for it to just like fall apart after a mistake.
Right.
Like not fall apart per se, but like not be up to par what it should be, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and the other thing that I do want to premise, it sounds like I'm like saying that Jade Cargill is like a bad wrestler. She is excellent for the fact that she's only been doing this for a couple years now. She started particularly on television during the pandemic. And I'm now pulling her up on Cage Match to get proper, I don't know if you call it empirical evidence of her stuff. But Jade Cargill, buying time for Isaac to get back is what's happening right now.
Yeah, I've been back for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just letting you go.
So, let's play a little mini game. Oh gosh. Wow. What? Okay. Must be like house shows or something. How many matches does Jade Cargill have in her career on Cage Match at the moment? Let's guess. I've got the number in front of me, so I can't guess.
Total matches like Jade Cargill has.
Total matches.
This including house or just televised?
Including house shows by the look of it. I'm going to pull up her 2024 real quick to verify. But I do believe including house shows and tag team matches and multi-mans. Yes, house shows, tag teams, multi-matches, all sorts of stuff. Dating back to 2021.
I feel like it can't be that many. Or maybe it's a bit more than I think.
I completely forgot what her first match was. Oh, that's fun. We'll play that game here in a second too.
I don't know, 660? I don't know.
Okay. Jacob says 60.
Yeah, I was gonna say can't be much more than 100. So I'm gonna go with like just the benchmark 100. I'll say that.
She has had 112 matches in her entire career. She has had a grand total of 10 losses, 6 of which were in 2024. I would say those are multi-man or battle royals, stuff like that. Yeah, by the look of it. And then, the Liv Morgan defeat on camera there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Nice. Just as a extra fun little game/trivia bit here. Who were the participants in her first match at AEW The Crossroads at Daly's Place in Jacksonville? I will tell you that you probably won't get this other wrestler, so I will go ahead and name her. It is Red Velvet. It was a mixed tag match. So Red Velvet and a dude versus Jade Cargill and another dude. Who were the two dudes?
I know it too.
It's weird. And I remember this being an actually solid match, and then some weird stuff happens.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I can't remember now.
Was one of them Cody?
Cody Rhodes was on,
Really?
was teamed with Red Velvet. Yep. But who teamed with Jade Cargill?
That I can't remember.
We good? You ready for the answer?
Yeah. Blair? No.
No.
Maybe.
No, this would have been AEW.
Oh, AEW.
Yeah. Ready? It was Shaq.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Never would have got
Shaq.
that.
Yeah. That was a fun one. That match was pretty solid, and then Shaq went through a table, got blood.
Ooh.
Like, I believe blood was drawn. I think Cody won the match. No. Jade, pinned Red Velvet. And then Shaq Shaq got stretchered out to an ambulance. Okay. And it was probably Tony Schiavone or one of the interviewers goes out to get a comment from Shaq, and they open the ambulance door and he's gone.
Huh.
And it's never been revisited.
Interesting.
Disappearing Shaq routine. Yeah. Anyway, that's just insane. Absolutely crazy. Anyway. So yeah. I'm going to say Jade Cargill for this match and hope that the quality of the match is good.
Me too. Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go there as well. I do kind of want to finish up my thought before my dog started going crazy. So yeah, I think I was saying that, you know, the story build up for this match has been really good, and story is very important for me. So it's already, you know, one of the bigger matches for me on the card. I think Naomi's heel turn was really good, and again, it was one of those where you're like, I understand.
Yeah.
I think in the Triple H era, not to get back off track again, but I think he's had a really good success rate with having heels, like justifiable heels. So you look at KO, you look at Naomi here, and then there's Drew McIntyre, whose whole 2024 was probably the most justified thing you've ever seen. But yeah, so I think, like, you look at this feud and you're like, okay, I can see where Naomi was coming from, because I'm not gonna lie, her whole thing with you know, Jade's just, you know, here to take off of Bianca's spotlight and whatever. It's like I kind of had a similar thought, at least initially. So I don't know. I'm excited story-wise for this match. And like you were saying, it kind of, in terms of match quality, hinges on whether these ladies can lace up their boots, because Naomi's generally pretty consistent. Jade can be a little bit inconsistent with match quality.
Yeah. And that comes with inexperience. I'm not like trying to like say that Jade Cargill is a bad wrestler. I'm saying that she's only been doing this since 2021. And if I've only been doing something since 2021 and have only had 120 something or 110 something televised matches, I'm not going to be the same wrestler as a Charlotte Flair. Or
exactly.
Or even a Tiffany Stratton, who I think has probably had more televised matches.
Yeah, I think she probably has.
I'm looking. I got cage match up.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, look, Tiffany Stratton hyperlink right there.
Hey, how about that?
That's excellent. 132 for Tiffy.
Yeah, so more.
Still more, but also, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know what Jade's background is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, again, not to say anything negatively about Jade at all. Because,
Right. Yep.
like you said, inexperience. But yeah, so I'm going Jade for this match as well. Although I think it would actually be okay for Naomi to win.
Yes.
And honestly, I'd kind of prefer it.
But you think Jade?
That's reasonable.
I think Jade, yeah, but I'd prefer Naomi.
Interesting.
I think to establish her as this heel figure that then, Bianca can feud with.
Right.
And, it's not just a kind of one-off. Like, I feel like maybe if she loses, then kind of, it's like, okay, well, Naomi's.
Yeah. Do you think that's the SummerSlam match?
Bianca and Naomi?
Yeah.
I could see it.
Me too.
And we'll talk about Bianca here in a little bit, but
right.
Yeah, about what that match could potentially look like.
Yeah. So before we move on to the LA Knight Jacob Fatu match, is Randy Orton gonna get a match at WrestleMania?
I don't know, because he was talking on Friday to Nick Aldis about how it would be his 20th WrestleMania and how it would be a real shame if he had to miss it, and he'd kind of take things into his own hands if Nick didn't give him a match. But the fact that they haven't announced it at this point is, they reveal the full card and he's not on here.
Right.
For context for listeners here too, the other week it came out that, because it was Randy versus Kevin Owens listed for WrestleMania, but it came out the other week that Kevin Owens has a pretty serious neck injury problem that's going to cause him to be out for, I don't remember exactly what the timeline is, but like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And actually, Jacob and I were discussing this the other night. Do we think it's a work, or is it official?
I don't know. When it comes to injuries and stuff like that, I always lean on the it's real until it's not. If he shows up next week and gives Randy Orton a stunner, then we know. But I would say that, I mean, it's a neck thing, like it's probably real. And otherwise they wouldn't have backtracked the WrestleMania match, I don't think.
Right.
That would be odd, is the way I'm going to word this. It would be odd if they were to do a fake injury angle.
Yeah, especially with the way that they were shaping Randy's character to be going into this match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you think that the Randy Orton match, or lack thereof at this time, would be a good place to debut one of those new signings that we've gotten recently? Give him the Cody Rhodes debut?
Yeah, it wouldn't be awful. Are you thinking, I don't know what name he's going to come back with, but the Aleister Malachi Black?
Yeah.
Is that kind of where you're leaning?
That was the one I was thinking. I was like, how cool would it be if Randy Orton is just out there waiting on an opponent and all of a sudden Aleister Black shows up? I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I'd be down for that.
Do. Rusev would be cool as well. Even Rey Fenix. Somebody that we've already seen. I would not mind seeing a Rey Fenix Randy Orton match. with Randy in the current
that'd be pretty
form that he's
cool.
in. I think it'd be great. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry I kind of derailed the conversation.
No, not at all.
I wanted
It's
everybody's
something that
thoughts
needed
there.
to happen.
It's relevant.
Indeed. The Randy
All right.
Orton Open Challenge.
I thought that's the angle they were going to go for.
I think
we'll see if that
I
ends
think
up.
that that's what they should do, and then it just end up being Aleister Black. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Or Malachi if he owns that name. However they want to.
Right.
However they want to name him. I would go back to Aleister, given that I feel like the WWE fans are not as AEW savvy as we thought they were, given that
Right.
Punk keeps mentioning stuff that happened over there and nobody's reacting. So, you know.
All right. The next match on the card is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States title. LA Knight being champion, of course.
Yeah.
Yep. Who wants to go first on this one? Because I have my thoughts, and I tell you what, they're succinct.
Okay. I have thoughts as well. So I'm happy to see Jacob Fatu here because
Indeed.
he's a dog. But
No,
I wanted to.
hold on. He's only part
hold on,
dog.
that's a different-
Samoan werewolf.
That's true. That is true. There's another dog on here later.
Oh my.
Dog.
But I kind of want to take it to the conversation that we had last episode when we were talking about Jacob Fatu, where I think it might have been you, Garrett, who said if they don't put gold on him by SummerSlam, then it's a little bit of a failed thing.
Yeah.
So I think here's your opportunity to do one of two things. I think you could have him win the championship here and kind of hold that above Solo and Tama and whatnot and kind of become the guy of that group. Or this is where you start the Solo versus Jacob thing and have Solo cost Jacob not necessarily on purpose, but like have it be, Solo comes out to try and help him and he ends up, trying to do the thumb thing on LA Knight and he misses and hits Jacob and something like that.
Yeah.
I think one of those two things needs to happen at this match.
Jacob, what do you think before I give my thoughts here? I have a weird take, a kind of weird take on LA Knight.
I'm just hoping it's a good match, and I think it will be. I'm hoping that we see some crazy Fatu stuff, and Fatu's going to go absolutely bonkers. I hope so. That'd be cool to see. I don't know why, but I feel like Knight's going to retain, though. I think that I don't see. I think it's too. I don't think it's too early per se, but I think the WWE thinks it's too early for Fatu to take this. But me, I'd be okay with it. But I think Knight is going to keep it, and it's going to cause something going on with Solo and stuff if he doesn't get it. So
Right.
I think that's going to happen.
I want to preface the following statement by saying that I like LA Knight as a wrestler and as an on-screen character. However, I feel as though in the last year, that character has gotten just a tad bit stale. He's not really going anywhere, other than the US Championship. And you have an opportunity here to make Jacob Fatu the guy. If this match lasts longer than 5 minutes and Jacob Fatu loses, we're going to have a conversation. Because I think he's just going to go in there. He's going to do whatever he wants to do to LA Knight. And I think that LA Knight should disappear off of television until the Royal Rumble. Maybe Survivor Series.
Dang.
Wow.
And that's just me saying he's moved a lot of merch, he's done a lot of stuff, but for storyline reasons, I think it's time to give LA Knight some time off. Again, not because I don't like him, but because I don't see where his character goes from here. Whereas Jacob Fatu is sitting on the launch pad ready for the spark to go off for the rocket. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is your opportunity to make a guy. And I think we need to take it. And I think they will. I think they're smart. Whether they write LA Knight off of television or not, I don't know. Because I don't know what his stats are in terms of merch moving and all of this other stuff. And they seem to take that into account when looking at these things. But if you want to make Jacob Fatu a killer, you gotta show him on camera killing a guy, for lack of better terminology. So there you go. I think Jacob Fatu should win this match in a very decisive fashion.
Yeah, I like your thoughts there with, like you said, this is the biggest stage in wrestling all year.
Right.
And this is where you show up or show out, like,
yeah,
this is where you show that Jacob Fatu is that guy.
Yeah. And okay, I do have to ask, am I the only one that feels this way about LA Knight, that he's just like kind of not going anywhere? He lost to Roman. I don't see him facing Cody or John Cena.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said something, because this is something I've thought about LA Knight for a while now, is that he doesn't move me like I feel like he should, and how I like the pops that he gets too. You have to look at that. He's very, very over, but he doesn't have anything going for him past, hey, I won the US title.
Right.
I have it now.
And like,
cool.
If you take him off of television for a bit, you make me miss him. And when you make me miss him, you make me think, you know what? Maybe he could win a Royal Rumble or a Money in the Bank or something like that, which I kind of keep forgetting is around the corner as well.
Indeed. But yeah, I agree. You take him off TV, then I might be like, hey, I remember LA Knight. He's cool. Let's get him back.
Yeah.
Because right now, he is, even if he is a champion, he's kind of forgettable for me.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I kind of keep forgetting that he's a champion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I forgot that the Shinsuke thing happened. In the Shinsuke thing, he could have been a cool US champion with this new, like, samurai-ish persona, but here we are.
Yep.
Let Jacob Fatu have at it. And let's have some fun. Let's let Jacob Fatu hold it until next WrestleMania or the WrestleMania after. Nah,
Dang.
actually, I changed my mind on that. Until next WrestleMania. I don't think, because I think by the time you get to next WrestleMania, we're ready for the Jacob Fatu main event run. If
Yeah.
everything goes well.
Agreed.
There you go.
All right. So official predictions then.
Jacob Fatu for me.
I'm also going to go Jacob Fatu.
And I went Knight. So I'm going to do Knight for me.
Ooh.
And then
Getting a
Fatu
little,
for both of you guys.
Switching it up on us. I like it.
I had to at least do one different because, it's like just to.
Oh, I imagine we're getting ready to get into some differences here.
I bet we will. Yeah.
Maybe even with our
couple.
next match.
Possibly. So our next match is Gunther versus Jey Uso for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
They sold me on this match in the last couple of weeks.
I was going to say that too, because since Jey won the Rumble, and I'm not somebody who dislikes Jey or thinks he's crap or whatever,
Right.
like a lot of people are saying, I like Jey. And I'm, again, still totally okay that he won the Rumble.
Right.
The first 6 weeks of this feud were so just
Yeah.
Every time it was Jey had a match, Gunther came in afterwards and choked him out, or Gunther was out there for some reason and then Jey ran out and still got choked out.
Right.
It was it's the same segment every single week. But like you said, the one a couple weeks ago, the one with Jimmy, that
was excellent.
That moved me different. And now I'm actually excited to see where this match goes.
I had to step across the room again. Hang on. Yeah. No, this match is going to have a lot of pathos. Is that a thing?
It's a thing. I don't know if it's the right one.
Yeah,
but...
me neither. It's going to have a lot of emotion to it. It's going to have... I don't know if this is going to be a 5-star match, but I do know that it is either going to be very cathartic or it's going to be heartbreaking. And there should be no in between.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Checking to see if you use that word right.
Yeah. I think that, and I've enjoyed the Jey Uso character. I think the past few weeks have shown us some holes in his wrestling game, but they've incorporated that into the story. So I don't know. This match could either be really good or this match could be incredibly mid. And I don't think it could be bad unless something terrible happens.
Fair. That's fair. I mean, I would say that I don't know. Jey, a lot of things are going right for Jey right now, but I would say Gunther probably retains if I had to guess. Because.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Nope, please.
I don't know. Just because I feel like Gunther is every time I see Gunther, I feel like he's just unbeatable for some reason. He just finds a way to win.
Right.
And he's just I don't know. I just feel like he's like a cockroach. He's always going to be there. Always going to be the winner. So although I like the lead up to this fight. The lead up has been nice, but I think that I'm kind of tearing myself apart on this one. I think I just have the Gunther. I'm blinded by the Gunther right now, but
Blinded
Also,
by the Gunther. Anyway.
The same thing happened in my head too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, you know what? No, I'm going Jey Uso's gonna win. I'm going Jey Uso, I think.
Oh, you swapped at the last second there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that Jay... This is another one where you could probably take Gunther off of television for a bit. Just let me miss him till, like, maybe SummerSlam. I'm not saying as long as, like, the Royal Rumble, but, like, you know, he loses his title, crashing confidence, etc. I think you have Jey Uso... You could have Jay win, but I don't think he should hold it for very long.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know who takes it off of Jay. I don't know who a good heel for that would be, other than Gunther. But
yeah, this is
unless it's Chad Gable. And which is and this is just my first thought of who are the biggest heels on Monday Night Raw, and it's Gunther and Chad Gable. And like, but I almost feel like that would just be, oh boy, this belt that was kind of made because Roman couldn't be beat and we needed a belt, so kind of mid-card is now very mid-card, you know?
Right.
Because bless his heart, Chad Gable I see is very mid-card.
He's the perfect contender for the IC title.
Yes. Yep.
Which I had a thought. I'm not going to speak it because it might derail us, but so.
Nope, please.
It
Unless
should have
you
been.
just don't think that we have time.
It should have been Chad Gable last year and not Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
As much as I love the Sami Zayn title win, and the match I think is one of my matches of the year for 2024, I think that should have been Gable. Mm-hmm. And not only because we saw that match at a house show, and I think that it changed my perception of wrestling. Except for that one kid that kept chanting Gable the entire time.
Oh my gosh. Let's go, Gable.
Shut up, kid. I almost wanted to do that, but then I was like, no, that seems mean.
Yeah.
Like,
this is a house show. We're going to ruin that man's perception of wrestling for the rest of his life.
Right, yeah. Indeed. But
yeah, so...
Yeah. I don't know who takes it off of Jey Uso, but I think it would be a good moment for Jey Uso to win. Do I know if he actually will? No, but it'd be nice to see.
I think there is a 99% chance that Jey Uso wins this title. I think.
See, honestly, I was going to say like 75-25 that he wins.
Okay.
I think, because, like I say, I don't know who takes it off of Jey Uso.
Right. That's the one issue.
Versus, like, Gunther, you can set anybody against Gunther, and you would get not only a good match, but a decent story of, I think I can beat this guy. Oh, gosh. No, I know what they're going to do. Finn Balor is going to lose this Intercontinental Championship match. Jey Uso's going to win the title, and the first match back is going to be Finn Balor versus Jey Uso. And I swear, if they give that belt to Finn Balor, I'm going to be upset, because Finn Balor, I have my thoughts on Finn Balor, and we'll get around to it later.
We'll get there.
We'll get around to it later. And it's not as a wrestler, it is as a character.
Okay.
Maybe as a wrestler. Yeah. No, yeah.
All right.
Maybe as a wrestler. All right, anyway, let's...
So, I'm going to, real quick, give a take that I might get canceled for.
Oh, no, don't get us canceled. We're only on, the third episode.
I can't remember
Real quick. Canceled or wrestling fan canceled?
Wrestling fan canceled.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not just going to get like
that
uber
just means that you're
racist.
being moderately like critical of the product that you're watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna get heat
So-
for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
That's fine.
Sorry.
I can't remember the last time I watched a Gunther match and was moved.
Mm.
He is an excellent wrestler. He's very good at what he does. His style of wrestling bores me to sleep.
You didn't get moved by the Jimmy Uso match / angle?
That's different. I'm talking like match.
Okay,
Like,
I see what you're saying.
That's character work. I'm fine with his character work. It's just like watching a match. You know, it doesn't do much for me.
I think that the problem is his opponents. Just being completely and entirely honest, because I mean, I feel like the last few high-profile matches that he's had, when you give him, because I think, like you say, the last time I was like moved by a Gunther match was the Sami Zayn match at Mania.
Yeah.
The last time before that I can think of that wasn't the Chad Gable stuff was Mania 39 with the triple threat. That was just like up there for the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time for me. But train of thought has moderately derailed. Trying to get it back. But in the past year, he's faced like what? Damian Priest twice?
Mm-hmm.
And Randy Orton, who that match was better than the Damian Priest matches, but like, yeah, I think that the problem with Gunther's style is that it's very slow burn.
Yeah.
And it's not as technical as it like used to be, but he is gonna kill a guy for 45 minutes, and that's okay because you're gonna have sympathy for the little guy by the time the little guy comes up at the end. Win or lose, you're gonna like the little guy. But yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I see where that take comes from. I minorly disagree with that take, but I definitely see where it comes from.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't think he's bad. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying, oh yeah, Gunther's just, he can't wrestle or whatever, because that's ridiculous. I mean, watch one of his matches, he absolutely can. But
Right.
it's more my preferred style of wrestling. You know, I like the quick, you know, high flyer or like, you know something
what,
that
though?
fast paced. That's the way I'll put it.
Yeah. But for some counter arguments here, even since the Royal Rumble, we've seen Gunther Jimmy, which was maybe more angle than match, but was very excellent. We saw him against Otis, and we saw him against Akira Tozawa. Both of which I think were really good pieces of television wrestling.
Yeah, those were decent.
Because it was like, you're getting... Your job as the bad guy is to make the people chant for the good guy. You know what I mean? So,
right.
And that was... It worked in both of those instances. If you go and watch that match, the crowd is rabid by the end of it for the good guys to win. And that's the biggest pop I've ever heard for Otis's worm. You know what I mean?
Right.
And boy, that... If you don't watch wrestling and you're listening to this podcast, that sounded incredibly out of context, but just Google it. And yeah.
Yeah, Google Otis's worm. Uh-oh. We broke him.
No. Oh no. Sounded way dirtier than it needed to. Anyway, yeah. Otis's worm. My point and my credibility have been killed. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. What's Jey Uso might win. I think he'll win.
I have Jey Uso 99%.
Yeah, so we all three have Jay then.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
I'm going to have to let the cat out again. He's being weird. I don't know what he's doing. He keeps entering and exiting.
The animal
the next
episode
match.
continues.
I know what's going on.
All right, so our next match is Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship. So here, I'm going to talk about this a little bit because this is number 1 of 3 that I have negative feelings towards. I think in terms of match quality, it's going to be phenomenal. Obviously, Charlotte Flair is Charlotte Flair, and then Tiffany Stratton is a really good in-ring worker as well. So I think from a viewer standpoint, just watching the match, I think it's going to be great, barring one thing that I'll talk about in a second. But I kind of want to talk about the build-up a little bit to this match because it's been a bit of a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Just everything that's happened. Yeah. I there's not been a segment where I didn't cringe a little bit.
Right. It's one of those, and I'm going to draw a comparison here that wrestling fans of a certain vintage will understand. You guys might not. I am interested in the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair match in a way that I was interested in a Kenny Omega versus CM Punk match circa 2021. The outside of the ring shoot, off script comments, all of that has got me into this match in a weird way. The television has been terrible, but the backstage politics of it all is what's got me interested in this match and is what will bring me into this match on the night, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have not seen the segment between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, find it on YouTube because, oh boy, it is awkward as heck. And it is fun to watch.
Yeah.
in a weird way.
Yeah, and kind of like a morbid, like, this is awful.
Yeah, like, I can't believe she said that. I can't believe that this did this. And by the sounds of things, and obviously I'm reading things from Wrestling Observer and Fightful and all of these other guys. And it's like, well, Tiffany felt that she needed to get something back from Charlotte Flair, like a receipt or something, all of this other stuff, and so decided to make shoot comments in the middle of the ring. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I think Charlotte went off script first, though.
I think
that's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. And then it kind of got escalated to the nth degree.
Yeah.
And I almost half wonder if it's like a work shoot type of thing where it's like, hey, yeah, you're allowed to say this, but don't tell anybody you're allowed to say this so that we can tell the sheets that this is all shoot and more people get into the match as a result of it. So,
right.
Yeah. I almost have about that.
Yeah, this match is outside of the actual wrestling is just an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah. And what's worse is that this has the potential to be match of the night.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I almost think that it will because there's this weird track record with Charlotte Flair where when she has like legitimate or shoot beefs, problems with people, that's when the matches are good.
So hey, maybe that was the end goal all along.
Maybe. but I don't think we needed to. I don't know. All I'm saying is there's some pretty interesting timing on the. Was it a talk show interview that Charlotte Flair did about the divorce with Andrade? And then Tiffy brings it up the next night on SmackDown. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying it's work because I don't know, but
it could be.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah. I guess my final closing thoughts about this match, and it's less about the match and more the person. Like I mentioned, been watching wrestling for a year and change at this point. I've had Charlotte Flair for 2 months. I don't ever want to see a title back on that woman.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like it.
Appreciate your honesty. So you say Tiffany's got to win?
No, I think Charlotte's gonna win. I don't like it, but I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I would love more than anything for Tiffany to win this match because I think this would, crazy elevator.
Yeah, exactly.
The same way it did Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39.
Yep.
But, death taxes, Charlotte Flair coming back and winning a major title.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, you've got the potential for a rematch at like a SummerSlam or something too. So,
right.
Assuming that they'll do business. Yeah, I kind of think Charlotte's taking this one.
Yep.
Jacob, what are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely going to be Charlotte Flair is going to win. I mean, that's just kind of how they've been playing it lately. I think that's going to be, and I don't want Tiffany to lose it, but it's going to happen, and it's a bummer to me. But I think they're definitely gonna have Charlotte Flair win this match, no question about it.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time for the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. So we have Roman Reigns, the OTC, versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman versus Seth Rollins in a triple threat. Thoughts?
I missed the bit where, was that the favor?
It was the favor. Yep.
Yeah, it was.
That's weird.
The favor was for Paul to come with CM Punk to the WrestleMania main event. Because in 20... I'm going to mess up my timeline here, so I'm not even going to say a year, but
Undertaker?
Back when Punk was a Heyman guy, Heyman was like, yeah, I'm going to walk with you for this, and when you're a WrestleMania main eventer, I'll be there with you too. And so Punk was like, all right, bet.
So Paul Heyman's going to portray Punk, and probably Roman.
Yeah.
At least that's my thoughts. At least Punk, if not Roman. Punk has to lose this match, in my opinion. Because I think the story with Punk has been, I want to be this WrestleMania main eventer. And I think that the only logical story outside of like a title win at WrestleMania would be that he should want to win a match at WrestleMania. So he should lose this match so that next year him and Cody can have a title match.
Yep. My thoughts exactly.
Because we need that match. I need that match more than Oxygen itself. And I'm kind of not kidding. We have had it teased like what? 3 times now? Maybe 4, if not in the WWE. And I just feel like we need it. But, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm curious to see how this match plays out. See who they have beefing with who the most.
On the
You know
other
what I mean?
side. Yeah. I think Rollins should. Rollins is the weird one on this match because it's like you could, to me, this could have been a singles match with either Punk and Rollins or Roman and Punk.
Yeah.
And so somebody's kind of the odd man out here. And I feel like in this particular match, on this particular stage, I feel like Seth is like the third wheel. And I don't know why he's here, and I don't know what he's going to do on the tail end of this.
See, that's the reason I have him winning.
And I kind of thought that. Like, maybe Seth... Who does he pin? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's the question I don't have an answer to.
And I almost think that, like, if he pins Roman, which I think might be what should happen, if he pins Roman, that is the whole reason that Roman Reigns lost at WrestleMania 41 was because he had this eternal feud with Seth Rollins. You're the one that hit me in the back with the chair in like 2015 and broke up the best stable that we've ever had, the best we've ever had it. You broke up the Brotherhood, except that we got back together in 2019, but nobody talks about it.
We're going to forget about that.
We're going to forget that happened. You betrayed me, and I never got the chance to kill you.
Yeah.
So, does Seth... The real question is who eats the pin if Seth wins. I think it should be Roman. Let Punk not even be anywhere near the equation. Let him just be pissed off that, and I nearly stopped myself, but that's fine. Let him just be aggravated that he wasn't able to win.
Yeah.
He didn't lose at WrestleMania. He just wasn't able to win.
Right.
As dumb as that sounds. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, this is going to be a really good match, I think. I'm excited for this one. I want to see Paul Heyman. I just want to see what Paul Heyman's going to do, honestly. I want to see him like be more involved in there. I mean, he will be involved, but I kind of want to see. Just kind of want to. I wonder. Just watching him like out of the ring is just hilarious. Just like watching him, just like leer at the inside the ring is just the funniest thing ever.
Right.
Now, in terms of who wins, that's a good question. CM Punk does have the Paul Heyman backing him here, but is Paul Heyman going to change his mind mid-match?
I think that Paul has to at least betray Punk.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
I mean, if I was the one that was booking this, I would... Paul can't decide between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and so mid-match, he has decided to walk away from all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Have him disappear until about SummerSlam when we find a new Paul Heyman guy. I think that new Paul Heyman guy is Braun Breaker.
Oh.
Okay.
Don't let Braun Breaker have the Brock Lesnar treatment with Paul Heyman. Let him have the CM Punk treatment with Paul Heyman, where Paul is there to, this is my guy and all of this. There's my Paul Heyman impression. But then let Braun Breaker just be a Steiner, I guess. I don't know.
Just do what he does.
I'm making stuff up as I go along here.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that
This is a hard match.
Yeah. I think Heyman for sure, not for sure, but I think there's a really good chance that he does just remove himself from, because I don't know if you caught the segment that he had with Seth Rollins the other night.
I miss SmackDown.
Did you see Raw? Because that's where it happened.
No, because I was in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you were flying to Vegas at that point.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So Seth comes out to Paul Heyman after.
Unfortunately, on the flying, not on the Vegas bit. That was fun.
Yeah. So Heyman's having this segment, I think, because this was just following Punk's favor being announced. So Heyman's out there to address everything. Rollins walks out. He's like, "Hey, I know you're in a pretty sticky situation. If I was you, your best bet is to just remove yourself now, or I will remove you."
Oh.
And so what ends up happening here is, they get into a bit of a heated little tussle, and Punk comes out and tries to defend Heyman, and that all goes. Rollins beats him, I think. And Heyman's down checking on Punk, down on all fours in the stomp position. Rollins runs up to him and almost hits him, but doesn't. And then he leans down and he goes, "Now you owe me a favor."
Ooh.
For not stomping him right then and there. So we'll see how it plays out.
So Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, is that a possibility?
That is a possibility. And that would be really great for the Roman and Seth eternal feud.
Yes, I agree.
So I'd be okay with it.
And I think that at some point at a big event here in the very near future, there should be a actual Seth Roman singles match.
100%.
I don't know if you can necessarily have it wait until WrestleMania, but I definitely think SummerSlam would be a good place for it.
SummerSlam's 2 nights.
I was going to say 2-night SummerSlam, so yeah, let's do it.
It's main event of night one of them.
Yeah. Yep, there you go. Hell in a Cell.
Ooh. Interesting.
I don't know. Yes. Seth has a 50-50 track record with the Hell in a Cell matches though, so
we'll see.
The Fiend and Cody Rhodes. They're either really good or they're really bad, and I don't know whose fault it is.
I mean, was
probably
the Fiend?
It's Vince McMahon's fault.
Yeah, the Fiend one was the one where they did the lights out Hell in a Cell, right?
Yeah, they did
with the DQ finish.
Yeah, with a DQ finish or a referee stoppage in a Hell in a Cell match. It's like, I think you've missed the point of a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, that's not Rollins' fault. Right. That's a Mr. McMahon type of.
Yeah, that's definitely a Vince thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you know what? The more that we talk about this, the more I'm getting sold that Seth should win this match. This is going to be a good match, though.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm concerned that this match is going to go 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's the only issue.
I am a proponent of a nice tight 15 on some of this stuff.
I'm gonna need you to rephrase that.
Nice tight 15 minutes on a match.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Moses. I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not. Anyway.
Yeah. If it's main eventing, though, I think it's probably going to go at least 30.
Yeah, you're probably right. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. There's 3 of them in there. CM Punk is excellent. Roman Reigns is excellent. Seth Rollins is excellent. This is going to be a good match. I'm just worried about the space between moves.
Right.
So, if there's a lot of that space, we might end up having a problem. If there's not, who knows?
Yep.
So I'm thinking Seth Rollins takes it, pinning Roman. Because I think that's your story going forward.
Yeah. I have Seth Rollins winning, pinning CM Punk.
Ooh.
Jacob, any closing thoughts?
Well, I think we're gonna have CM Punk pinning Seth Rollins. It's gonna be that's how it's gonna go.
Do we
write all these down?
I was seeing some speculation that there might be some last minute. This is the triple threat to get added to the Cody John Cena match. I don't think that should happen. What do you guys think?
No.
No, that speculation, at least on my end, was entirely hinging on the Heyman favor.
Right. Exactly.
Which obviously
remind me what you guys have for this one. I'll write it down.
Seth pinning Roman.
Roman. Okay.
Yeah.
Both of you guys?
No, I have Seth pinning Punk.
Seth Punk. Okay. Put that down. So we'll come back to it when it's all finalized.
And then Jacob, you said Punk pinning Rollins?
Yeah, I have Punk pinning Rollins.
Oh, okay.
I could see that as well, too.
Yeah, I could see that, but yeah. I don't know. I could see about anybody winning here. I'm just interested to see who takes the pin.
Yeah.
Or Paul Heyman pinning Roman Reigns.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, that could work. That could be a good one.
Wow, that would be the greatest feud of all time of Paul Heyman and Roman.
I should make some bingo cards for WrestleMania. I was just thinking that because I'm like, this is a triple threat, and it's not the only like multi-man. So we're probably going to hear the phrase, well, there's no DQ in a triple threat and all of this, right? And yeah, there could be a good bingo in here. But, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. Guess that brings us to night 2, doesn't it?
It does. That concludes the night 1 card. You want to bring us into night 2, Jacob?
All right. So after that loaded night 1, we have some other great matches on night 2. And starting here on the list, we have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. What are our thoughts on that? That's a weird one.
What a weird combination of wrestlers. I'm fine with it because I think that it's going to end up being like a really solid match in ring, but it's just a weird combination. Like I never thought I would see this match.
Yeah, same. I think it'll be a very entertaining match to watch. I just don't care. Like, I don't have any kind of attachment to this match.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I feel like whoever wins here is like ready to challenge Braun Breaker and probably lose for the IC belt. Spoilers for my predictions as to later down the road.
Interesting. I have a very different prediction.
That's my feeling.
It's going to be Logan Paul, I think.
I think it has to be Styles. It better be Styles.
I think that you could get a lot of heat with Logan Paul to the point that I think he's going to win. And I almost wonder if we're going to get a Raw / Backlash program with AJ Styles and Karrion Kross.
True. Yeah, I was actually gonna
what's
bring
going
up
on
Kross.
with him. It might even transpire that Kross like costs AJ the match. I don't think they should do that. I think that AJ should take the pin to Logan Paul, and then we do the Karrion Kross AJ Styles feud. Karrion Kross is growing on me lately. Honestly, as a character. I'm concerned about his in-ring here pretty soon, but he's got a match with AJ on Monday, right?
Does he?
At time of recording? He might.
I think so. Maybe.
I can verify. Maybe.
Yeah, I think he does. Now that you say that.
Monday Night Raw. Monday lineup. Card. Match card.
But yeah, while you're doing that, I will say, you mentioned Kross. He's the one that's selling this feud for me.
Right.
Not AJ, not Logan Paul. I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff he's posted on like X or on socials. That's been fantastic. I think he's an excellent character worker. So like he's the one that's keeping my interest for this match because let's be honest, they really haven't done a whole lot of TV program for it.
Right. So advertised for Raw, by the way, is AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross, and then Roman Reigns is gonna talk about the Paul Heyman stuff.
Okay.
Or that's what that says. Yeah, I think that Karrion beats AJ this coming Monday. Maybe not in a decisive fashion. Maybe Logan's involved. And then Logan just pins AJ with the... He was using a buckshot lariat, but I forget what he's using now as his finisher.
No, he's got a new finisher. It's awesome.
It is cool.
However you feel about Logan
really
Paul.
cool. Yeah, no, it's a cool finisher. That's what it's called. Yeah, it's a cool move. But I forgot what the name was. So makes sense though that it would be something like that. Strikes me as a Logan Paul thing.
Yeah. It works though. It works.
Yep. So I think Logan Paul wins.
I'm going Styles.
All right. So me and Garrett, Logan Paul, and Isaac's going with AJ Styles on this one.
There we go.
So we are starting to get a bit more diversity on our picks.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. And after that, you have Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight.
Oh.
That's interesting.
I did not realize that this got a street fight attached to it. I'm super happy that it did because, as I kind of alluded to earlier, number one, it needed it. And number two, Damian Priest is an aggressively fine wrestler. He's got his moments. He's like, how do I word this? He is a good wrestler from a mechanical perspective. I just don't care as much about him as I do Drew McIntyre or other wrestlers. To that point, though, I think that Damian might take this.
I think Damian might take it as well, but for different reasons than that.
Because I almost think that the best part of Drew McIntyre's character is that no matter what happens, he is always going to be aggravated about something.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for that to happen, you got to give him something to be aggravated about. How long do we think that the Damian Priest feud is going to go, though?
It should stop here.
Worry. Yeah. That's my other worry is that if Damian Priest straight up beats him here, then it would only make sense that Drew McIntyre is going to be upset to the point that there needs to be a third match, if you consider their first match the Money in the Bank cash in at last year's WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, wait, they've had a match since they had Clash at the Castle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that
because
before or after Money in the Bank?
that was the Punk one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And the failed cash in.
Yep.
Or was that the failed cash in?
No, the failed cash in was at Money in the Bank.
Oh,
He
you're
won
right.
it, and then-
You're right. It's been a wild old year in wrestling. I don't remember what all happened. Boy, it's been a good one though, hasn't it?
It sure has.
Yep. You know, I honestly feel like only reason I think Drew McIntyre's cursed right now. So I think I think Damian Priest is gonna win. I would like Drew to win, but I feel like Drew is, you're right, like Garrett said, like Drew tends to get upset at every match in some way. And I think that's gonna continue the curse of Drew losing pretty much everything. And Damian Priest is gonna win this match.
I have my problems with how they've been booking Priest, and I think those problems are going to persist, and he's going to win this match.
When you say that, do you mean like problems like they're booking him to be too strong without going anywhere?
Yep. Yeah, he's invincible. Insert
He's
title
getting
card.
Man, we're gonna have to do that for the YouTube shorts now, aren't we?
Maybe that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm cooking it up in my head right now.
yeah. I have video if you need. Anyway, yes, I completely agree. I think I'd like to see Drew take this one, but I have this weird feeling that Damian Priest is going to win this match, and I'm fine with that to a degree. But we need to do something with Damian Priest. Do we turn him heel and sick him on Jey Uso?
Maybe.
But then he ends up with the belt. Because I'm sorry, I don't think Jey Uso's holding this thing for very long if he wins. Or we get Gunther and Damian Priest again, and something's telling me Finn Balor's going to interfere. I hope not. But what are we, 2-2 right now that Finn Balor's interfered in that match? Perhaps.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's likely.
In the Priest and Drew match?
Gunther.
Oh, and Gunther. Okay, yeah. That's understandable.
Yeah, I was saying that if Damian wins this, he could probably get sicked on Jey Uso, but then he just ends up with the belt again, and I'm not looking for that. Drew McIntyre could take it off of Jey Uso, though.
They could. The thing to remember here, though, not to spoil your party, Drew and Priest are SmackDown.
Oh, well, draft's coming up, isn't it?
Draft is coming up, so that's
allegedly.
In theory. I don't know if they'll do one because they had the transfer window in January.
I thought I read something about a draft. Hold on. I will check myself before I wreck myself. WWE Draft 2025. Yeah, so allegedly it is coming after WrestleMania 41.
Allegedly.
According to PW Insider. So yeah.
We'll see.
They're set to do an annual draft which is planned for, quote, as soon as the post-WrestleMania season. I would be surprised if it was like before Backlash. Like I say, let's do Backlash and then let's do a draft. That way you have the time for the epilogue or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I think Drew versus Jay would be a good one if you can deal with the draft or a trade or something like that. I mean, you know, the whole thing is made up anyway, so.
Right. Yeah, they can really do whatever they want. They're not confined
I was
by
going to
the
say
rules.
when it comes to the rosters, the WWE, and it's partially just because of Vince McMahon, but the WWE has this track record of being like, yeah, these are the brands, it's great, and then a month goes by and they're like, well, this guy's hopped over from this brand and all of this other stuff. So plus we've seen NXT people pop up on Raw all the time, so
Right.
yeah, so we'll see. We shall see.
Indeed. So we're
But I
all
just
rocking
can't-
Priest.
Yeah, I think we're all doing Priest, I think.
Yeah, I think Priest is going to win. I'd like for Drew to take it, but it makes sense for Drew's character to not win this match.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, doesn't that put him on like a pretty bad like losing streak, at least at big events though? Like I guess he's already on one, but
Yeah, his last win was when he won the Money in the Bank
oh, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
proceeded to lose it again.
He lost it again, and then was Clash after that or before that?
I think it was before that because he had the match with Priest and then he was like, all right, well, Punk screwed me out of, my match. So I'm going to win the Money in the Bank and take matters into my own hands or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. Timelines are weird.
2024 Clash at the Cancel Clash at the Castle, Scotland, June 15th. Money in the Bank, July 6th. So
yeah,
Clash, then Money in the Bank, then SummerSlam, and then the Punk feud is like in full swing at that point.
Yep.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, so Priest.
Priest it is, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, after that, you get Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the tag team title. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, we already had our discussion about the IC title, so keep
real
this
quick,
short and sweet.
Did the gauntlet match happen on Monday?
Friday.
Yeah.
I
Friday.
thought that was a Mania thing. I don't know why I thought that, but okay. All right.
And that's exactly where I'm gonna pick up.
Yeah, okay.
So
Go ahead.
I think that Bayley and Lyra are great, obviously. And I like Lyra a lot. She's one of my favorites, actually. But this was not the team to have.
No, it was not. Who all was in the
No.
gauntlet?
So it was these two, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler.
They're still around.
They are, yeah. They're not the one that got released.
Which is
No
a shame,
shade.
by the way. That
It is, yeah.
yeah.
Sonya Deville. Yeah.
I was disappointed in that because she was always good, and she's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The Secret Hervis. So Alba Fire and Piper Niven.
that could have been a good team. I'm not saying that could have been a good WrestleMania match, but I'm saying that could have been a good team.
Yeah. Natalia and Maxine Dupree. So what's that, 5?
Can I ask a genuine question?
Maybe.
Are there any straight up established tag teams in the women's division anymore? Other than Raquel and Liv and Casey Catanzaro and Katana Chance and Caden Carter. Going by her old NXT name, sorry.
Yeah.
And I guess Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark have been around for a while to the point that I'd consider them a tag team.
Yeah, they're a tag team.
The other one that I'm reading here is Natalya and Maxine Dupree, and then Michin and B-Fab were a team.
Oh yeah, Michin and B-Fab were there, yeah.
What on earth? No wonder it was Lyra and Bayley winning this. See, here's the thing. The mid-card belt should bring these people up to where I'm not like, why on earth are these people in this match? I forgot these people existed.
Yep.
But
Yep. And yeah. So since this match includes my number one, Liv, I'm very upset. I'm very, very upset. Because you know what? When it was first announced that Liv was going to have a match at Mania, I was like, heck yeah, that's great. I'm glad that finally happened. Because I think last episode, she still wasn't booked. And I had a little mini breakdown talking about it. So I was like, yes, she got a match. And then they were like, all right, so it's a gauntlet match between these 6 teams. I looked at them and I was like, I don't want to see a single one of these people here. Or this single one of these teams.
Yeah. That's the problem, I think, with the women's tag division is that there is no major team unless they decide they want to bring back the Iconics for some reason. But I think one of them might be pregnant right now. But anyway, Liv and Raquel need to just win this match and we need to move on. Oh, and then Bayley needs to rose plant Lyra Valkyria, maybe?
Yep, there needs to be a heel turn there.
Somebody's got to turn heel. I don't necessarily know if it's Bayley.
It's Bayley.
I guess it's Bayley.
Because Lyra's not going heel.
She could.
She could. She won't.
No, she won't. So then does Bayley take the IC title from Lyra?
I think that's a distinct possibility, yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, I wouldn't have her turn heel, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, there's that. This Lyra Valkyria Intercontinental title reign, and we talked about it earlier, but I have not been a fan. Which is a shame, because I like Lyra Valkyria as a wrestler and as an online personality and all of that fun stuff. But I just do not care about this title reign. And I don't feel like she's over with the crowd either.
She's getting there.
I agree that she's probably getting there. You could have Bayley take it off of her and basically say, you know what, back of the line. And then you give it back to her on SummerSlam at a pretty big match. That could be good.
Yeah. It could be good, yeah.
It could be good. You could get her over.
Yeah.
Should have gotten her over before we give her the belt, but that's beside the point. I'm still of the opinion that probably should have been Dakota Kai that won that belt the first time around.
I wouldn't have been against it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the booking would have been any different. I'm just saying that the crowd reaction for Dakota Kai is bigger than the crowd reaction for Lyra Valkyria at this point. So there you go.
There you go. But yeah, this tag match. This is
going to be a good match.
It's going to be a great match as long as. So here's my thing with Bayley right now is she's been kind of inconsistent.
Yes, I would agree. So this is going to be an aggressively fine match, economically or mechanically sound, but at the end, it's not going to provide anything of substance, I don't think.
Yeah. Liv and Lyra are going to cook.
Yeah.
Raquel might, Bailey might. So it could be a very good match.
Yeah. Raquel is a weird one to me. I don't think she is a good big person and a big person, little person tag team.
Yep.
When it comes to her singles matches, occasionally it can get a little clunky.
Yeah.
Which is fine,
Yeah.
Again, I don't think she's been on the main roster that long. Couple years, maybe. And most of that was injury time.
Yeah. What year was it that her and Liv won the first time?
I'm looking. Hold on. Wikipedia.
21? 22? So I think they had their second one.
Yeah. 22, huh?
Yeah, because they had their second title reign start at 23. Because then Rhea Ripley came in and destroyed Liv's shoulder.
When did
and Raquel
get injured? Raquel didn't get injured. Liv Morgan got injured.
Liv got injured
in May of 2023.
Huh. Yeah, I think they...
Weird. Sorry, I'm reading the Wikipedia article right now. Oh, yeah, and then she had that program with Rhea Ripley that was not too good. Oh, yeah, and then January 2024, she
number 30
because of the masked activation thing. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So my last thought about this match, and I'm going to bring it back to my not so quick complaining session before we started. It was right there. It was right there.
What is?
They could have spent the time that Alexa Bliss was out being gone building up the Wyatt 6 connection.
Yep.
And if they didn't want to do a Liv versus Alexa singles match based on the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber
Alexa and Nikki
jobs, you could have Alexa and Nikki Cross versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the tag titles at WrestleMania. But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to have random matches. That's why I'm so upset about this. You could have had my 1 and 2 have a match with each other, and it would have made perfect sense.
I hadn't even thought about the Nikki Cross thing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. But
then you know what? They could have won, and you know who their first contenders could have been?
Who's that?
The returning Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane.
Why would you do that to me? Because Kairi's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I know. Although I do want to see the Liv Morgan and Raquel against the Kabuki Warriors though before we get the inevitable Liv Morgan Raquel breakup that I think is coming but not imminent.
Yep.
You know what? You've soured me on this match with the Nikki Cross thing.
Had 7 weeks to cook it up. 7 weeks.
You had plenty of time. Wait. I was reading at one point though that Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy was injured.
He's been good to go for like a month and a half.
Oh well. Shucky darn.
He got cleared early March.
Okay, yeah, that's a shame. That's definitely a shame.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Definitely a shame. Yeah, we probably could have gotten there. But this is gonna be a fine match, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be entertaining. Probably.
Yeah.
Jacob?
Liv and Raquel are gonna wean. Jacob, what do you think?
I think that Liv Morgan and Raquel are going to retain on this one.
There you go.
Yep. I think this is probably one of the easiest matches to predict.
Yeah. Definitely. So I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yep.
And then you have, after that, you get Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship.
Who wants to go first on this one?
This might be the match I'm the most excited for.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm excited for the in-ring on this one more than the in-ring on some of the other ones, but
yeah,
I don't know. The way I'm going.
I know exactly how this match is going to end, and I'm very excited.
How is this match going to end?
So Dom's going to roll up Finn Balor.
You think Dom's going to win the match?
100%.
Oh, that could be great. That could be excellent.
100,000%.
Oh my gosh. I think that Dom is gonna I think that something's gonna happen and Dom is gonna push Finn Balor in the way of a spear, and I think Braun Breaker's gonna take it. Penta could win as well.
Yeah, there's no bad winner here, I don't think.
No, Finn. Oh, we were talking about this earlier. I think Finn is an aggressively fine wrestler. I keep using that phrase. What I mean by that phrase, very mechanically sound, but ultimately I don't care.
Yeah, fair.
The only Finn Balor match that I have ever looked at and said, boy, that was a really good match, was when he got killed by the Fiend Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam 2019. That was it. The rest of the time, I'm just like, you're good. I find his character kind of annoying at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I want the Judgment Day to break up. I want this to be over with. Just get it done.
That's why Dom's winning.
That's why Dom could win. But then we put in a scenario where Finn Balor has to then beat Dom.
See, don't look ahead and just let me have my moment.
Okay, all right. Yes, but I do agree. Dominic Mysterio as Intercontinental Champion would have... That could be fun for a week or so.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, and here's my reasoning why I think Dom's going to win. Liv and Dom have been plotting against Finn for months at this point.
Yep.
You know, if you really look at those segments on camera, yeah. Like every time Finn's talking about, you listen to Finn, you win, and you watch like Dom and Liv's facial expressions, like they don't really outwardly say, "Hey, yeah, Finn's an idiot," but
right.
You watch, especially Liv's facial expressions really tell everything that they're looking to cook Finn up.
Right.
And what better stage to pull the trigger than the biggest stage?
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. No. Let's get the Judgment Day breakup over with. Yeah. I still think Braun Breaker takes this match. I think this is a good opportunity to have him run through Finn and Dom and then kind of save the Penta singles match for later. Maybe Backlash. Yeah. I just looked ahead on our sheet and I realized what was next, and I got a little I was getting a little depressy there for a second. Yeah, I think Braun Breaker wins this match.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like Penta winning this match. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun thing. Now what if Penta pins Dom? Now that would make a lot of sense to me.
Oh, that could be
like what happens early? That'd be funny.
Oh, it just ends immediately.
Yeah, like immediately.
I would be fine with it. I mean, I know I keep talking about how short matches should be, but like, you have Finn and Penta get tangled up outside, and then Braun just spears the shoes off of Dominic Mysterio. Somebody should lose shoes, by the way, during this match.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's it. That's it. That would be great. I don't think that's going to happen because they need like a half-hour match or whatever. But, you know.
Yeah.
Should be a big one. This should be like a spot fest, I think, more than any of the rest of the card.
Yeah. We have a controversial one next. Very controversial.
Indeed.
Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world title.
Let me go up and warm my voice up real quick.
All right.
By the way, Rhea's
Jacob,
Ripley.
why don't you, well, Jacob, we're going to let you start on this one.
Oh, good, because, you know, nobody's going to like hearing this, but Rhea's going to win for sure. I think there's no question. Like, she comes in there, she takes the pen, signs the contract, and then they're going to have her win, and she's going to be back on top and have the women's world title. Now, nobody wants to hear that here. I know that. But the truth can hurt sometimes. And this is one of those cases where the truth will hurt. As much as I would love Io Sky to retain, it's not going to happen, and it makes me sad. But I think Rhea Ripley's going to, at least maybe they'll draw it out for a little bit longer than usual. Maybe they'll draw it out a bit in this match, but it's going to be inevitable that something's going to happen, and yeah, it's going to be Rhea Ripley.
Garrett, you want to give your thoughts real quick?
On the match itself or the build? Okay, I'll actually start here. The build for this match has been absolutely atrocious. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair would have been a perfectly fine singles match. Rhea Ripley did not have to insert herself in here, and it makes absolutely no sense, other than because she's Rhea Ripley, that she's in this match. I get that we want to have Rhea Ripley on the card. That's perfectly fine. Give her somebody else to feud with. Give her Alexa Bliss. Give her Nikki Bella. I don't care. She doesn't need to be in this title scene. It doesn't make any sense that she's in this title match, other than the fact she lost her title to Io Sky. I get it. I get where that was going. But, like, they need to turn her full heel, and then, like, some of the stuff would make sense. I guess, kind of. Not really, but, like, I don't know. The triple threat nature of this is really weird to me. It seems very politicky, etc. I'd also like to say I'd have been completely fine with a Rhea Ripley Bianca Belair match, singles wise, because we've been teasing that for a while. That could have been a good singles match. We should have probably done that instead of involving one of my favorite wrestlers in the women's division, Io Sky. But here we are. And in terms of who wins, what's worse is that I don't care in a way that I'm not happy about. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I'd like to see Io Sky retain. I think Bianca's going to win the match and go on to feud with Naomi at SummerSlam.
Okay.
There you go. I tried to make that as succinct as possible.
That's good, because I'm not going to be.
Okay. All right. Well, keep an eye on the clock is all I'm going to say.
Yeah. No. Yep. Okay. So we've pretty much known this was going to be a triple threat at some point.
Yep.
Since like a while. We'll put it that way. It's going to be, yeah. Like as soon as Io Sky lost the chamber qualifier.
Yep.
So here's my thing. And I agree with you. They should have I don't want to say leave Io off because I've been pushing for Io to be in this match since Royal Rumble.
Right. Same. The problem is,
but yeah, it absolutely is. And I'm so glad you said that because I don't want to be the first to say it.
And I'm talking in storyline, and I completely understand why the company would want to have Rhea Ripley involved in this. Rhea Ripley is incredibly popular, still over in the building. I don't know. I can't get behind Rhea Ripley right now.
The problem is she has no character if it doesn't involve the title.
Which is a shame, because I think after she loses, provided that she loses, and I can see anybody taking this match. I can easily see anybody winning this match. If she loses this match, you could have a really interesting Crisis of Confidence heel turn storyline that I think we should have done that would have, I think, made her better going into this match. Did you guys catch the Jackie Redmond Twitter interview after she lost the title to Io?
I did. It's fantastic. And it's exactly what her character needed.
It is what she needed to do going into this match. That is what they needed to do with her character. Here we are, and I don't think they've done that.
No, not even close. They went the opposite direction. Because the following week, I'm gonna tangent here. So if you have a thought,
go ahead.
Okay. So the following week, following that interview where she's like, "Yeah, I have no one to blame but myself because I got distracted and I should have focused on the match and I got in over my head, stuff like that. Got too confident." She walks out the next week during Bianca Belair's contract signing, I believe it was.
Right.
What were you doing out on ringside? You distracted me, blah, 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 blah. And what are you even doing here now? And blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, are we serious? Like,
right.
What were you, Bianca Belair, doing? Bianca Belair, Elimination Chamber winner, going into WrestleMania as the challenger for the title. What were you doing sitting outside the title match, 4 weeks before WrestleMania?
Right.
What were you doing there?
Well, real quick, was she doing commentary or was she just sitting out there watching?
No, she was just chilling there.
I mean, I kind of see it then, but still.
And then Rhea got up and attacked Bianca because Bianca was saying, "Hey, Io, get back in the ring. Rhea, get back in the ring." Right. Not being one-sided, being two-sided.
Yep.
So what were you doing out there? You distracted me, blah, blah, blah. Rhea, that was your fault. You go to the contract signing. Bianca, what are you even doing out here during this contract signing? What? Signing the contract? I don't know.
Right.
Like that one sticks out as the biggest offender in the entire build to me. Is like, what are you, Bianca Belair, doing out here during your own contract signing?
Yeah, it's
that. Oh, I'm so I can feel my blood boiling just talking about this feud because I'll tell you what, as much as I dislike Rhea Ripley, did I say Rhea Ripley? Anyways,
yeah.
Rhea Ripley. I was okay with this being the triple threat given it had the proper building. Now, I hate it. I absolutely cannot stand this match now. Because you're absolutely right. Io versus Bianca would have been great. Rhea versus Bianca would have been great.
Yep.
Rhea versus Io would have been great.
And Rhea versus Io with Bianca as the special guest referee was a good match on Raw.
Yeah.
Until the end, which I understand in storyline with Bianca's character. But I don't know. It was just weird. It was a weird ending. Which sucks because it was a good match.
Yeah. So that leaves me to my prediction for the match.
Yeah, I'm
I
curious
think
who you think is winning here.
I don't know who wins. I know Rhea's taking the pin.
Interesting.
I
would agree, and I would hope, but
it makes the most sense character-wise for not only for Rhea's character to kind of rebuild herself and say, "Hey, maybe I was the problem."
right.
But also, you look ahead to future storylines. If Bianca loses because Rhea took a pin and Io wins it, then you have that whole I had my shot at WrestleMania and you stormed in and you inserted yourself and ended up costing me the match. Here we go for a year-long build to next year's Mania. Maybe not year long, but you know what I mean. Like, you
Right.
have that build.
Rhea Ripley Rhea Ripley is another character that I think just needs some time off.
Yep, 100%.
And
Because you look at last summer, she had 3 months off. That was the best Raw's looked in a while.
Yep. And yeah. Yep. Yep. Indeed.
And then
so
you look at the other side of the coin with Bianca Belair winning and Io being upset because once again, she earned her way into the match by defeating the champion.
Yeah. And
then
like, that makes perfect sense. I think that the problem is that Io Sky won the belt. If that had been a non-title match and she would have won, then great, triple threat makes sense. We're at the point where it's champion Io Sky versus completely earned challenger, earned through the Elimination Chamber, Bianca Belair, Moses, can't talk today, versus Rhea Ripley, who just kind of showed up and was like, you know what, that's my title. Yeah. And under some circumstances, I think that would have been fine, but I don't know. I don't like Rhea Ripley's character right now.
So you
say who was pinning Rhea?
It's tough for me because I think they're booking Io to win this. Ooh. With her being like the completely forgotten champion. It's like, because it is Rhea versus Bianca and Io's just there as the champion.
Right.
So I could definitely see them doing Io.
And that would work.
That is my preferred outcome.
Yeah, and we've seen that before actually with Rhea and Io, and it was Charlotte Flair with the NXT title back in 2020. Man, that was a long time ago. Yeah, but feels like eons ago. But in that's how Io got her first NXT women's title.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Then you look at the other side of the coin with Bianca. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to it. I wasn't until I was scrolling Twitter this past couple weeks. Bianca's on a WrestleMania streak.
Yeah.
5 or 6 in a row.
That's true.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think she's going to win this match. Because I think that we almost have to continue. Number one, we have to continue that streak. I think that could be worth something huge one day. And also, I think it would not. I don't think it would kill Io Sky's credibility to have Bianca Belair pin Rhea Ripley in this match. My concern is that Bianca Belair pins Io Sky in this match.
Yeah.
I don't think that we need that.
No.
Because, I mean, everybody loves Io, and I'm sure she could very quickly gain the credibility back. But, yeah. Yep. Rhea needs pinned. And
Rhea needs to get pinned.
I think it's Bianca that needs to do it. Otherwise, you've got an asterisk on that streak.
Right. That's true.
I've won 4 matches at WrestleMania. Plus, there was the one that I technically lost,
but didn't really lose.
But I didn't really lose. It's considered a loss. So they shouldn't Bianca, unless we don't care about the streak thing.
Yeah, which, to be fair, they have not mentioned anything about it as far as I know.
Right.
On TV.
And I don't think you should until it starts getting kind of up there. I think once we get to 10, if it's even remotely possible, that's when we should start bringing it up and being like, oh, well, maybe this person could beat Bianca at Mania and all of that, along the lines of The Undertaker, right?
Right.
But yeah, I'm not saying that we need to rehash the streak storyline, but I think it would be nice to have.
Yeah.
And also I think that post WrestleMania you could easily do a Bianca and Naomi program for the belt.
100%.
If that involves a draft, it involves a draft. I don't know.
Yeah. At this point we can really book anything because there's a draft potentially.
Theoretically.
In theory.
An unannounced draft that was rumored for after WrestleMania some point.
Yep. I think the last year's, that was a couple weeks after, maybe.
See, that seems too soon, because to me, you got to have Backlash,
Right.
I say the week after Backlash.
I think it was before last year, because I remember Cody walked out and did
That's right.
the SmackDown portion of the draft after, just winning the title.
Yeah.
But then there was those couple of Raws where he still showed up and was like, yo, what's cracking, bro? How you living?
Yep.
So, I don't know. That's a discussion for post-Mania.
It is, which we will be having on our next episode. We'll be talking about the results of WrestleMania, what we thought about WrestleMania, and all of the matches. We'll be giving a somewhat in-depth breakdown. I'll probably just be reading off of the Wikipedia page, and and we'll talk about where we think it's gonna go in the future.
Yeah, what's next for wrestling?
Next for wrestling?
Wrestling.
Probably until at least SummerSlam, if not next year's Mania. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, a little bit of.
But what's next for us now?
Now, well, this is a big one. This match is a big one. The
big one.
Brody Codes versus heel John Cena.
Yep.
I have a big one.
I think John Cena needs to win. You're not going to do something as monumental as turn John Cena heel without doing something I would argue equally as monumental to pay it off, which is break Ric Flair's record and beat the ultimate babyface in Cody Rhodes, who, need I remind you, not 2 months ago were we saying, oh, Cody Rhodes could turn heel.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah. That's my thoughts.
I don't know.
I think it should be a pretty clean one, too. I don't think we should have any interference. I think maybe Cody passes out to the submission. I forget what his submission is called. Is it the STF?
Yeah, the STF.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I think. I think he's covered in blood. You give him the Austin visual. The Bret Austin. Go watch that match if you haven't. I was actually thinking I should rewatch that before Mania. Yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the finish. I don't know if there's going to be any good spots or anything like this. I think we're going to get some crossroads. We're going to get some stuff. We're going to get some teases. But I think this should be pretty straight-laced. Good. What was this? Good guy versus bad guy. Let's see who wins.
Yeah. Agreed. I think it should be just a. There should be, if there's going to be interference, it should be very minimal. And if there is, it needs to be just like The Rock at ringside, gives Cody a slap or something like that. Nothing substantial.
Yeah, I think that if you have Rock come back during the match at this point, it'll just be like, oh, great, Rock's here again.
Right. But I mean, there is the story there of the corporate Cena working with The Rock.
Yeah.
So I feel like he kind of has to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what the biggest bummer is? If something like that does happen, Travis Scott also has to be there.
Oh gosh.
Oh
He's
yeah.
gonna bust Cody's eardrum again or whatever that report was. He was fine-ish. It's very interesting to me that they brought in a celebrity for a bad guy role.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Especially the celebrity that's doing your one of your WrestleMania themes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely interesting. But I think heel John Cena with the belt. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Jay.
that needs to happen.
I know my take is pretty not gonna be the same, which I'm probably just totally gonna blow this prediction and be dumb, but you know what? I could be wrong sometimes, and I just think that heel John Cena, I think we're gonna get like one of those it's the future's now old man moments.
Okay.
With Cody winning and winning the belt and pretty much just being like, the future's now old man. Your heel tactics don't work on me. And heel John Cena's going to lose, which I think it's probably crazy to say, but and you know what? And if it doesn't happen, I have no qualms with either result, honestly.
Right.
So it's just going to be a good match all around. And I think it'd be one of those moments where it's like, hey, not everyone goes out on top kind of thing. But
Right.
he might have to because it's John Cena.
Right. So I
like
just cooked.
John Cena. I'm not against John Cena or anything. I'm just
Right.
saying that. Nothing against him. I think he's amazing. But I think it'd
Right.
be interesting. Like, what if we all want a storybook ending, but what if we don't all get a storybook ending?
What if? Yeah.
I've been cooking something up in my head, at least for a little bit, and then now I just kind of added to it a little bit. There is this storyline that they could run where, he has the heel turn and he's heel, until like Midsummer or whatever, or even SummerSlam if you wanted to go that route. And this is hinging on him not winning at Mania, by the way. Having him go through that cycle of, hey, I tried to do something different and be the bad guy and not accept the WWE fans and yada yada yada, whatever he did, and that has not proved to be lucrative. I still only have 16. I'm not holding the title. I need to be John Cena, the guy that won 16 titles.
I see what you're saying.
And because I feel like, here's the thing, I feel like you can't have him win 17 and break the record. Not that you can't, but it makes more sense to me to have him be a good guy when he wins 17.
Interesting.
I still think they're going to go the route of him winning here at Mania, but
because I almost think that like because I mean John Cena's on a bit of a losing streak right now,
right.
and I kind of feel like the thing that he needed to do to get the 17th is to make sure to secure the 17th title and his legacy and all of this other stuff is he's got to do whatever it takes. And if that means I got to join forces with The Rock, then that's what that means.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What have we thought about the John Cena heel turn? Has it been good? Has it been bad? What are we thinking?
It's been great, honestly. I think it's weird for his character to have that, but I think he's playing off it well.
Yeah, I really like it too. I think it is weird to see John Cena hate people.
Yes.
And, not play into the crowd. But that's all part of it too, is it's supposed to be weird. It's supposed to be this, hey, we're not used to this. This isn't the guy that we've supported or didn't support for X amount of years. He shouldn't be talking like this. This isn't right.
Right.
I think the first, I guess he's only shown up like 3 or 4 times post heel turn, but the one in, was it the Netherlands or Belgium or whatever that was, where he insulted the kid?
Yeah, yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Peak.
That was excellent.
Peak.
The first promo was really good. The second promo, I was like, if they're going to do this every week, this is not going to be good. The third one where Cody got a little bit back, that was good.
That was good, yeah.
Yeah. I did not see the one on SmackDown, but I feel like I got the gist of it from the clips I've seen on social media. But, yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. We need to see John Cena one more time before Mania, I think.
I think is he on SmackDown? Maybe.
He might be. He probably is.
He better be.
He probably is. But yeah. So overall, thumbs up on the John Cena heel turn then.
Yes.
Good.
Thumbs up for sure. For sure.
Stuff. Yeah. Yep. The one bit of criticism that I've seen about it that I kind of understand, and this is just as like a devil's advocate kind of thing, is that over the past couple of years, like since Cena's kind of come back in this, since really like Mania 34, he's been kind of well received as like, oh, John Cena's here, nostalgia acts, John Cena, all of this. And so some of the stuff that he's saying about the fans not being on his side are kind of iffy, you know what I mean? But
right.
I don't know. I still think I still think that it counts. I dropped my phone.
Oh no,
no.
not the phone.
But yeah. Still think it counts.
Yeah.
So who's winning? The title and
Cena,
the head of the table.
Cody Rhodes.
I got to break the tie and go Cena. I think he's taking it.
I think you guys might be winners here, I'll be honest, but I have to
stick with your gut. Yeah.
You got to stick with your heart, man.
Because when you end up being right, then you can hold that over us.
It's true. I will be insufferable.
That is very true. I think that Cody would have to turn heel after that then, though, and then he runs the risk of proving The Rock right.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's a good point. Uh-oh.
That could be an interesting story to tell.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, wait, hang on.
Wait a minute.
I mean, we heard the prediction that you made before Chamber.
Yep.
I mean,
yep. Maybe something along the lines of like if Cody Cody turns heel on his SummerSlam opponent, Sami Zayn. I don't know. I pulled that out of my rear end, but Sami Zayn is the ultimate babyface at the moment. He turns heel on Sami Zayn. The Rock mysteriously shows up at some point afterward at like Survivor Series, some point afterward when he's like cemented heel Cody Rhodes. And he's like, I was right. Your soul is mine. No, I don't know. I lost that about halfway through the pitch there.
Had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
Hey man, you can turn anybody that turns on Sami Zayn is the ultimate bad guy.
Oh yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So that is the entire card for both night 1 and night 2. So I kind of want to get a feel of what are your guys' thoughts on the card as a whole, including night 1 and night 2. Like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Or anything that sticks out to you? Who wants to go first?
Isaac, you go first. I have a really weird take.
Okay. Well, I have to say, this may be biased because most of my favorites are either, besides Cody and Punk, most of my favorites are either in Garbo matches or just left off the card entirely. But I'm a bit underwhelmed. And, not even necessarily just because my favorites are missing, but I feel like the build hasn't been as good. And also my view may be a little bit skewed because my first Mania that I, really paid attention to, I know we watched 39 together, but the one I really paid attention to was 40, which in my opinion had an excellent build for most of its matches. So it's like comparing that to what we have now it's a little underwhelming.
Definitely. Jacob, what do you think?
I'm
trying to organize my thoughts.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. I think you're right on the fact that it's underwhelming, and I also feel like that night 2 has more heavy hitters. I do like night 1's matches, but I think night 2 has some more heavy hitters on it, in my opinion. But I just think there's a lot of matches here that you'd probably see like on a normal SmackDown or Raw or something. Like some of them are like nothing burgers, I guess you could say.
Right.
They'll be enjoyable. Not to say that Raw or WrestleMania or Raw or SmackDown matches are not enjoyable per se, but like for a WrestleMania event, you kind of want like the best of the best and high energy all the time. And
right.
I don't know if we'll get
Sorry,
that.
Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, you're talking about Rey Mysterio and Grande Americano, or
yeah, like that is a Raw main event, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, maybe just because of the way they're going to handle it, like maybe the reveal of who Grande Americano is. I wonder who that is. But
why not Chad Gable?
No, I don't think so. I think it might be Gad Chable, but
how true Gad Chable might be.
but oh boy. Okay, so yeah, but I think that's the only reason why it's on the card. Yeah. Because of that reveal possibility. That's about it. That we might see Gad Chable going up in the night 1,
Right.
But you know what? They could surprise us, and it could be a really solid. I mean, both the ending matches for the night. I don't know if I think those are probably ending matches. The Reigns, Punk, and Rollins on night 1, and Cody and Cena on night 2. Those would be great. Both those would be great. So
definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you saying that night 2 definitely looks a lot better than night 1. Night 1 just kind of feels like, I don't want to call them throwaway matches because there's, championship matches in there. So they're not throwaway matches at all, but like just not quite as at the same caliber. Even though you have champions in there, it just feels like night 2, the matches just on paper sound better.
Yeah, I really like. I think the women's world title and the undisputed title kind of carry it quite a bit. And then the intercontinental too, like that kind of carries the night 2 a lot, which kind of makes it like, I mean, I think that's usually probably normal for WrestleMania's night 2 kind of is the big bang, but I think that definitely night 2 has some better matches overall on it, but both are good. I would say both are solid.
Definitely.
All right, hit us, Garrett.
Okay.
Hit it.
So, if WrestleMania 39 was Infinity War and WrestleMania 40 was Endgame, I feel like 41 is like the beginning to a new story. And what I mean by that is it's like it is part 1 to something that could be really cool in the future. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but we're doing the admin work, for lack of a better term, of where does Paul Heyman end up after Mania? Who's got the championship of the women's world title match? Who's got the belt out of John Cena and Cody? We're giving it to John Cena, I assume. So we're putting the belt on John Cena so that we can tell a story. This is part 1 of however many parts. And I'm going to levy this complaint here in the same way. Isaac's going to know what I'm talking about. In the same way that The Acolyte Season 1 was part 1 of a bigger story.
Yep.
For better or for worse. I'm interested to see if this is for better or for worse, because professional wrestling doesn't stop. I think that on the night, match quality is going to be great. It's going to be, we're going to get sucked into the stories on the night. It's going to be really cool. I don't think this is going to live up to 39 or 40, but, and I don't feel that as engaged as I did with those. So, yeah. Weird comparison there with The Acolyte, but I didn't know what else to say, so.
I totally get where you're coming from, though. Like they're using this WrestleMania kind of as a launch pad for the future, which is interesting. It's an odd way to do it, but
I'm fine with it if WrestleMania. It's like when Cody lost at 39. I'm going to be fine with it if he wins at 40. I'm going to be fine with 41 if the payoffs to these stories, and I have an odd feeling that a lot of these is like first in the trilogy type of thing. Like I would not be surprised. We've had a second to sit and think on this, but I would not be surprised if Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano ends up in Mask versus Mask at Backlash, maybe instead of WrestleMania.
Okay.
And obviously I think somebody's going to turn on somebody in the Bayley-Lyra team up. It'd be cool if it was Lyra.
It would be cool if it was Lyra, yeah.
That would actually be kind of cool. But yeah. Like a lot of this feels like the first step to something else. And that's not necessarily bad, but WrestleMania is the ending of a lot of stories, so it's just kind of weird that it's the beginning of a bunch of these.
It's kind of ushering in like the new, and then a lot of the old is going to be like kind of going away, I think, is kind of how this one's going to go WrestleMania wise. Like kind of a big turning point, like you said, like a big new story.
Indeed. And we'll have to see whether or not that story is good. And I'm really hoping that the John Cena heel turn is good. And I'm hoping he wins the title. And we'll talk a little bit more about the direction that's going to go after whatever happens at Mania happens on the next episode of the Display Shelf Podcast. Cheap plug for the next one.
WrestleMania post show.
Yeah.
WrestleMania post game show.
which we will be recording a week later, so we'll get all of the what do you want to call that stuff?
Like the premature reactions, like we'll be able to like also like have develop thoughts by the time it's done.
Yeah, there is that, and then also we'll have the Raw and SmackDown after Mania too.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I guess we can go ahead and speculate on that. Anybody from NXT that we want to see brought up on the Raw or SmackDown after Mania?
I mean, I think Roxanne is for sure. She'll be there.
Didn't she have a title match on
she's
SmackDown
kind of already
last
up
week?
in a way.
It wasn't a title match, but she did have a match against Stratton,
Which was an interesting choice, but we're not gonna get into that. The match was fine, but just the decision to book that match is weird to me.
Yeah, it was a little. Her whole booking for Mania season has been really weird, and I don't want to jump too far into that, but
Roxanne's or Tiffany's?
Roxanne's. Well, I guess both, but I was referring more to Roxanne.
Is she doing anything
because-
on Stand and Deliver?
So she is on the Stand and Deliver pre-show in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Women's match with Cora Jade. And then a few other tag teams. And then they'll get a shot at the tag titles, the NXT following.
Oh, yeah, because everybody's in
following
Vegas
Mania.
already.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, her booking's been really weird. You know, Iron Woman of the Royal Rumble, good showing in
Right.
Elimination Chamber, her whole thing with Bayley, which is just not a thing anymore.
She was runner-up in the Royal Rumble, wasn't she?
She was, yeah.
Man, yeah, it's like they're biding time. For her to come up to the main roster.
Yep.
Kind of the same way, and I like keep up with NXT through like other podcasts and social media. Kind of feel like they're doing the same thing with Ricky Saints.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but because he's like main roster ready.
Yeah.
So.
And so is Stephanie, for that matter.
Yeah.
Which I think we'll probably see her on the Raw or SmackDown after as well.
Yeah. Jordan Grace is taking the women's title this weekend, right?
She might be, yeah.
I hope so.
I think so.
I hope so. Call Stephanie up. You can leave Julia down there for now, I think. Because I kind of want to see the Julia Jordan Grace match.
Yes.
Who else is in that 4-way? It's driving me nuts.
Jada Parker.
Jada Parker.
Miss
Why was I
Parker.
thinking Kalani Jordan? Yeah, exactly.
I think she's in Kalani Jordan's in the
North American one, right?
North American ladder match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, wait, let's talk about this. What did you think of Stephanie Becker vacating the North American women's title?
It happened.
Why? Why did it happen? That's what I'm...
You know, I really wish I had a good answer for you other than her not doing double duty on Stand and Deliver.
Which, that's part of the intrigue. You could say,
Right.
You can use that as a vehicle to say, you know what? Because she had this insane match against whoever later or earlier, then in this other match, she kind of got her rear end kicked, you know?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, any final thoughts on wrestling as a whole going into WrestleMania weekend?
I think that like this is just a really important moment for wrestling. This WrestleMania is going to be really important for the future. I'm hoping it lives up to the billing.
I'm just excited for the entrances. I've always been a big entrance guy, and Mania always goes over the top with their entrances. So
We could have some really good ones. We could have some really good pops too from the
I was gonna
crowd.
say,
Yeah.
who's gonna have the best entrance at Mania?
So I read a thing just before we started recording that Living Color is in Vegas.
Yep, they
which
are.
if you don't know who Living Color is, they do CM Punk's entrance song, Cult of Personality.
Yeah, I
Seth is always going to have an iconic one as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Seth's gear is. I almost wonder if he just puts on the Shield gear and does the Shield entrance.
He could, yeah.
I think that would make sense, but I don't think he should, but, you know.
No, but it's something that would happen.
Drew could have a good one, but they've done the bagpipes and sword before. I think they did it last year, didn't they?
That was last year, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did it the year before, too. But, you know. Oh, Penta.
Penta, yep.
Because his Raw entrance is ridiculous, and I love it so much.
It's so sick.
It's like it's like hey, can we get you to come over from AEW? Yeah, just like dump half of my paycheck in the pyro budget.
Yeah.
And then I'm down.
Give me a spinning fire launcher and we'll be good.
So cool.
It's so sick. I love, though, I always notice that they always have him come out after like a commercial break or something like that. Because it's like, oh, they got to set it up.
And then he's got like at least a 10-minute long match. That way they have time to take everything down.
Right.
I'd almost want to go to a Raw with him on it just to see and time how long it takes to set that stuff up and take it down. But yeah.
Yeah, same.
Well, if nobody has any final thoughts, we will move on to the game of the podcast.
Game time.
Game time.
All right. In this corner, going into WrestleMania weekend, we have the challenger, Jacob. Okay, all right, he's not going to say anything. And in the other corner, we have the champion, the display shelf champion, the reigning and defending champion, Isaac.
Woo, that's me.
And this match is going to be contended under last man standing rules.
Okay.
So, here's how this is going to work. I have 4 categories. We're only going to do 3 unless one of them comes to a tie, which is, I think, possible. I didn't think about how this part was going to work. Isaac, you are the champion. Would you like to pick the category first? And when I say pick the category, I mean you're going to pick a number between 1 and 4.
Sure, I can go first. That's fine with me.
All right. Please pick a number between 1 and 4.
3.
3. Oh, no, it's this one. All right. All right, gentlemen. So, the category is WWE Champions in reverse chronological order. So here's how this is going to work. Isaac, you are the champion, reigning and defending. You get to decide whether you name first or Jacob names first.
Okay. I'll have Jacob name first.
Jacob will name first.
This is the WWE Universal title.
This is the
World Heavyweight, or
no? This is the what is currently known as the Undisputed WWE
Undisputed,
title,
yeah.
formerly known as the WWE Championship. That was merged with the Universal, but it was the WWE Championship.
The SmackDown title, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to clarify,
I think I just blew out my mic. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, the SmackDown title. Jacob will name first. He will give the current champion, and then whoever he dethroned to become the champion, Isaac has to name. Do we understand how the game works? And then we just go back until we get to the first champion or somebody loses.
All right.
Does that part make sense?
Okay,
I'm explaining this horribly. Should have.
No,
written this.
and it's the most recent to the least recent
Yes.
champion. Okay.
You
So I
get
would name
3
first.
strikes, each one of you, and
Okay.
which I gotta write things down here. You get 3 strikes, each of you. You lose a strike if you name somebody that's not on the list. You name somebody that's already been named. Or you take too long, like I am doing with this explanation. Too long being like a minute to a minute and a half.
Okay.
I'm not going to time you, but if it feels like too long for a podcast, then it's too long for a podcast.
Understandable.
And at which point it will go to your opponent. Your opponent has to get the right answer in order for the point to take. This is the one where we could potentially have a tie. The person with the most categories at the end of this wins the game.
All right. Let's do
Everything
this.
makes sense. That was a long, drawn-out explanation, and I apologize for it.
That's all right. Yeah, I think I understand.
All right.
Here.
So,
And I'm first, right?
Jacob, who is... I have to... There we go. Who is the current WWE champion?
The current champion is Cody Rhodes.
Correct. Isaac, who came before?
Roman Reigns, the OTC.
Yep, that's right.
Jacob.
That's right. After Roman Reigns was Lesnar?
Yep.
Okay.
Going back to January 2022, Isaac.
Bray Wyatt?
No. Jacob?
No. Dang.
I think Lesnar had it multiple times. Is it? No, it can't be Lesnar again though, because he would have to lose it. The Kofi Kingston?
No. Isaac, I'll give you a hint. It's one of our personal favorite wrestlers as a group.
Oh. Interesting. Seth Rollins?
No. Jacob?
Our personal favorite. Is it the guy who knocked our power out, Lashley?
It is Bobby Lashley.
Oh,
really?
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
So 2 strikes to Isaac, 1 strike to Jacob. Who's up? Isaac?
Yeah. Dang, I'm going to lose right here because I have no idea.
This one is like the hardest of the categories. I'll put that out there.
Okay. Have it? I'm just going to shoot Bray Wyatt again and see, or the Fiend, whichever version of Bray you want to take.
It is not Bray Wyatt. So Jacob does get the point on this one. Next was Brock Lesnar.
Oh.
I knew there was one where Lesnar got it back after. So that was the one where Lesnar got it and then lost it and then got it back. Okay.
So this was January of 2022. Brock Lesnar took it off of Big E in a 5-way because Roman Reigns had COVID. Big E took it off of Bobby Lashley, cashing in Money in the Bank. Bobby Lashley took it off of The Miz. Long story. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton flip-flopped it during the pandemic, and then so on and so forth. So yeah, that one's the hardest one. I probably should have reevaluated that, but you know.
I was way off on my Bray Wyatt picks then. I was thinking that was a lot further back.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt was 2017, I think.
Was it all the way back then?
Let me look. Last time that Bray Wyatt held the WWE Championship was 2017.
Dang.
I'm losing my mic here. He held the Universal Championship during the pandemic, though.
Oh, okay. That's where I was getting confused at.
Yeah, and he lost it to Roman in a triple threat with him and Braun Strowman. And that was the start of Roman's the big one.
The takeover.
Yeah.
So after Brock Lesnar, who was it? Was it Big E, you said?
Yeah.
I think that would have stumped me. I think I would have gotten that.
Yeah.
No, I definitely wouldn't have gotten that.
All right. So Jacob is 1 point up.
That's surprising.
We're resetting the strikes.
Thanks, sir. Well played to you.
Jacob, you get to pick the category. Pick a number between 1 and 4 that is not 3.
Okay. Let's go with 4 now.
Going with 4. This is the fun one. In front of me is a list of all of the celebrities that have ever appeared at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Dating back to WrestleMania 1. Who's going first this time? Champion's advantage. You get to pick, Isaac, if you go first or he goes first.
Are we still going in reverse order, or is it just...
No, this is any name.
Okay.
Any order. As long as they're on the list, you get it. That was the only one in reverse chronological order.
Gotcha. I will go first and say Jason Kelsey.
Frick, dude.
Jason Kelsey is on the list. You're going to have to bear with me while I find them and mark them off of the list. Because it is a big one.
The
pretty
big
much like
one.
Going to failure here. Also, these are copy and pasted from Wikipedia. So, number 1, if they're wrong, it's not my fault. And number 2, if I make comments about them, it's because I genuinely didn't know that something was on the list.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, Jacob.
I'm gonna go with Travis Scott.
Why can't I move the thing? They're all in alphabetical order.
Control G.
Yeah.
I'm on a tablet.
Oh, okay.
Travis Scott has yet to
Control
appear
F.
at a WrestleMania. So Jacob.
Oh, at a WrestleMania.
First. Yes.
Oh.
That would be your first strike.
That's right. Okay. I got it now. I see now. Okay.
Isaac, you're up.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg has appeared at multiple WrestleManias, doing everything from wrestling in a match against The Miz to, what did he do? He sang Sasha Banks' theme song at some point.
Oh, he did,
So, yeah.
And then he did commentary for the street fight last year.
Indeed. Bear with me just a second. I'm having some weird technical stuff, and I'm going to have to cut this bit out of the podcast because of it.
Let's go.
Yee-haw, technical difficulties.
I love it.
It's being freaking weird. Come on. I try to be technologically savvy. One friggin' time. Try to make my life just a tad bit easier, and it just doesn't work. Who all have we said so far? Snoop Dogg and Travis Kelsey, right?
Yeah.
Or
Jason Kelsey, but yeah.
Jason Kelsey, yep.
Oh, and Travis Scott. Who was not on the list. Okay. Yeah. Who are we on?
Jacob.
Jacob is next.
I think
Who has
KSI.
Appeared? KSI has I know for a fact he has because he was in the Prime Bottle last year.
He was in the Prime Bottle.
He was in the Prime Bottle. KSI is on the list. Why does that say WrestleMania 29? Like I say, I copied these from...
No, he was at 39.
39, right?
It must be a typo.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in the Prime Bottle.
Yep.
Isaac.
We'll stick with the theming of the Prime Bottle and go I Show Speed.
I Show Speed, I saw on the list earlier. Yep. I Show Speed.
He was there last year.
Yep. Jacob?
I think there was a match with George Kittle, I think.
George Kittle is on the list. Wrestled at 39, I believe, to assist Pat McAfee.
Sounds right.
The Miz. All right, Isaac.
Oh, I have a guy in my head and I can't remember his name. So I'm gonna go.
Bear in mind,
different.
One thing that I am also going to say is that every celebrity is on the list. So if they make like a cameo appearance or if they like sing a song, they're on the list.
Okay.
Oh, bands and groups are also on the list.
Gotcha. So this isn't the guy. Oh yeah, it is. Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville.
Match with Sammy.
That sounds right.
Sammy. Yep. It was a good one too. All right, Jacob.
Oh, so the guy that was with Jason Kelsey is Lane Johnson, so he should be on there too, I believe.
Lane Johnson is on the list.
Good poll.
Indeed, because I didn't know who that guy was.
I couldn't remember his name to save my life.
Yeah, no, me neither. Isaac, you're up.
Motionless in White.
Ooh, that's got to be on here somewhere, right? Or was
It
that
has to be because they sang Rhea Ripley in last year.
Motionless in White. There it is. All right, Jacob.
I don't remember if it happened, but knowing him, I feel like Rob Gronkowski was at a match or something.
I do. Yep. Rob Gronkowski. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Rob Gronkowski. Moses, try saying that fast. He hosted WrestleMania 36, which was, of course, pre-taped and from the Performance Center because it was in 2020.
Ah, right.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Really weird guy. Isaac, you're up.
Lil Wayne.
Oh, that was my next one.
Wheezy.
That was my next one.
Yep.
Terrible entrance.
Indeed. Lil Wayne is on the list. Jacob.
Is Mr. T on there?
Mr. T is on there.
Yes.
Main evented. I shouldn't say that. Mr. T is in fact on the list. He wrestled with Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Brother.
At WrestleMania 1.
Brother. WrestleMania 1?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff in a tag team match.
Oh. You learn something new every day.
Indeed. Isaac. Keep me honest on
Bad Bunny.
On who I'm calling here, by the way.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
Yep.
Kind of paved the way for the celebrity wrestlers. Jacob.
Probably got it. I'm sure Shaq's been in one, right?
Shaq has been in one. I believe he wrestled, and I'm gonna check my fact sheet here. Yep, Shaq was in one. He has indeed wrestled. At least one. This says 11, but I don't think that's right. Because I thought it was like in a Andre the Giant Battle Royal or something like that. Isaac, you're up next.
I'm running out of options here. Huh. I know there's definitely one that I know of that I'm forgetting right now. Does Pat McAfee count?
Pat McAfee does not count.
Okay.
He's been around long enough. We're not counting him anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. No, he was SummerSlam. Dang. I'm just gonna take a huge shot in the dark, say Arnold.
Arnold has appeared at a WrestleMania.
Hey, let's go.
Good poll.
According to my sheet.
Right there.
What did he do? Oh, he narrated a video package.
Ah.
At
Gotcha.
WrestleMania 31? Maybe. That's what this says. I don't know if the copy and paste is good or not. I think it is by the looks of some of the other stuff. But yeah. So yeah, Arnold. Jacob.
Was Mike Tyson in an appearance in any of them?
Mike Tyson did appear.
Oh man, good poll.
That's like that's like my last one. I think that I can really think like in my mind.
Mike Tyson appeared at 14 as a ringside enforcer for a particular match.
Okay.
I believe for Shawn Michaels
take it.
in DX. Isaac.
Let's see. Just to stick on the boxer theme, Floyd Mayweather.
I'm looking for F.
I don't think so.
Floyd Mayweather had. Oh yeah, he wrestled the Big Show.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So Floyd Mayweather is on there. Jacob.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me think. Music. Maybe music will have some. Pitbull.
Pitbull is on the list.
Nice.
Wow.
Wait, is Pitbull on the list? Where is P? Pitbull. There he is. Pitbull is on the list. Isaac.
Oh, take it.
We go for The Weeknd.
That is an excellent question.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's actually shown up, but I know he's done the last 4 themes.
Yeah, he's done quite a few of those. I regret to inform you, The Weeknd is not on my list.
Dang. All right.
So each
take
of you
that
have
one on the chin.
strike. Jacob.
We said bands too. Like, are the Backstreet Boys? Did they appear at all?
The Backstreet Boys have not appeared. No.
Ooh.
My turn, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. Should be.
Metallica?
Ooh, that could be.
Metallica.
I know they did
appeared at WrestleMania.
I know they did a song for, was it Taker and Shawn Michaels maybe, in a Hell in a Cell, but I didn't know if they showed up there or not. Yeah, they played. What song was it now? I forget. I don't remember what song it was, but I'm sure it's a thing because I saw a video of it a couple weeks ago.
Huh. Cool.
But I don't know if that was Mania or if it was somewhere else.
Yeah, they are not on my list.
Unfortunate.
So 2 strikes each, Jacob.
2 strikes each.
So the next person, real quick, Next person to get a wrong answer loses the category.
Yep.
I guess just. Let's see. I'm thinking. Well, actually, does Trump count? So that counts, right?
Donald Trump does in fact count.
Dang.
Donald Trump has been, of course, at multiple WrestleManias, most notably shaving the head of Vince McMahon at one of
Oh yeah,
at one of them at some point in the early 2000s.
Dang,
Isaac?
you might have me here. Eminem.
he's had to have been at one, right? Eminem.
We said we were
Just
only
wanted to
doing 3 of the categories, right?
Yes.
And new display
Dang.
shelf champion.
What?
Jacob. Eminem was not on the list.
I got
That's
washed.
unbelievable.
There's one in Detroit not that long ago. I thought he would have shown up there, but I guess not.
Yeah. Some highlights from the list. Alex Trebek, Alice Cooper, Aretha Franklin singing
Alex
American
Trebek?
Beautiful. Yep. At WrestleMania 7. Boys to Men, Burt Reynolds, Butterbean, the boxer, Cyndi Lauper, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Donnie Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg, George Steinbrenner. It's such a weird
The Yankees manager. Wow.
Yeah. Who I only know from Seinfeld. Ice-T. Who else here? Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Kid Rock. Limp Bizkit. Living Color. LL Cool J. Machine Gun Kelly.
He did? I thought he was at SummerSlam. I was thinking
think he was
SummerSlam
at
last year. He walked out with
That would have
Logan.
been a good guess. Yeah.
Dang.
Motorhead, Muhammad Ali, Snooki from Jersey Shore, Ozzy Osbourne, Pamela Anderson, Pete Rose, Ray Charles, Reba McEntire, Regis Philbin, who else? Run DMC, Sal from Impractical Jokers. Wait, can we talk about him anymore?
Well,
Huh.
Great question. Speaking of, can we talk about him anymore? Diddy. And Vanna White, Wale, Willie Nelson. Oh, and the Rockettes.
The Rockettes.
So, Jacob, you do win the title. So there you go.
Dang. Well played.
Well,
do we want to do one more category just for the fun?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Why not? We've got it ready.
Thank you for the wonderful game so far. And thank you to my opponent. It's been a worthy challenge.
I was getting cooked. I'm not going to lie.
No, we went pretty far in that celebrity one, honestly.
We did.
Yeah. Yeah. Isaac, since we're going back and forth, do you want category 1 or 2?
Let's go category 1.
Category 1 is wrestlers who have main evented WrestleMania.
Okay.
Jacob has the champion's advantage now. Jacob, do you want to go first, or do you want Isaac to go first?
I'll go first and do Cody Rhodes.
Right, give me just a second here. I should have clicked all of these buttons before I introduce the thing. Button. Cody Rhodes, right?
Yes.
Cody Rhodes is on the list. Isaac.
Roman Reigns, his opponent.
Roman Reigns has main evented quite a few WrestleManias now.
Just a couple.
Oh, also on the has main evented WrestleMania category, for those of the listeners and you guys that know some of the weirdness that has occurred around impromptu main events for WrestleMania, I'm counting them. So they're on the list, frankly, because they would have been on the list either way. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
If you know, you know.
Okay.
If you don't, you don't. So there you go. Who's next? I forgot.
Jacob is next.
My
Jacob
turn.
is next.
Yep. Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins has indeed main evented WrestleMania. Isaac.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens has main evented multiple WrestleManias. Where did he go? I just saw him. There he is. Jacob?
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
I'm
Isaac.
sensing a pattern. Jey Uso.
Jey Uso. Jacob.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton is on the list. Isaac.
You're gonna be real surprised with the next one I pull out.
I know
Jimmy
exactly.
Uso.
Yeah. Yep. Jacob.
Let's see here. John Cena.
John Cena has main evented multiple WrestleManias. Isaac.
Dwayne Dwainson, The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne Dwainson has WrestleMania many WrestleManias.
He has WrestleMania and many main events.
Yep. Hey. Yep.
He's WrestleMania many WrestleManias.
I did not say that as a joke. My brain actually said that. Jacob.
Steve Austin, Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, Steve Austin, multiple WrestleManias. Isaac.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker has main evented multiple WrestleManias as well. Jacob.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest has not main evented any WrestleManias as of yet. He was the opener for WrestleMania 40. I did some weird stuff to my microphone there. Sorry for headphone users. Isaac. That's one straight to Jacob. Hulk Hogan. Multiple WrestleManias.
Just a couple.
Just like 1 through 9, except for 4. Yeah. With the impromptu main event at 9.
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant. WrestleMania 3.
Going deep.
Isaac.
Triple H.
Pull that one. Ooh,
Triple H. Jacob.
McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre has main evented WrestleMania 36.
Was he? Yeah, I was going to say the 1 in 20.
Yep. Isaac.
Might as well go with the man that's inducting Triple H into the Hall of Fame, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels has main evented many a WrestleMania. Jacob.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles has main evented 1 WrestleMania. Yes.
Really?
Wow.
36 night 1 against The Undertaker.
Huh. The more you know.
I count the cinematic Boneyard match as a main event because it went on last.
Fair enough.
All right.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock. I gotta move this mic. There we go. Brock Lesnar has main evented many a WrestleMania in his day. Jacob.
Big E.
Big E has yet to main event any WrestleMania. At this point, that will be another strike to Jacob.
Ooh. Oof.
So we are 2 strikes to nothing. Jacob to Isaac.
I've got one sitting in the well, but I don't know if I want to use it yet because it's one that I don't think Jacob's gonna know.
Okay. This one's for bragging rights, so.
Fair enough. Becky Lynch.
Yep. Becky Lynch is on the list. Mania 35. Jacob.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley is not on my list. She has not main evented any WrestleMania as of yet. I think she's opened the show a couple of times. Maybe once or twice.
She opened last year.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I didn't do openers.
Just for my memory banks, Becky was with Sasha, right?
No, but Sasha is also on the list.
Oh, really?
I'm curious to see how many Isaac can name off here.
Oh, I'm pretty much cooked.
All right. Well, here's what we'll do. The remaining ones on the list, Isaac takes that point, making the overall game 2-1.
Well played.
With a new display shelf champion. So
You had no strikes.
Yeah, no strikes on this one.
Of course. The one that doesn't matter.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. And the remaining ones on the WrestleMania main eventer list: Bam Bam Bigelow, Batista, Bianca Belair against Sasha Banks, Big Show, Bret Hart, Charlotte Flair, Chris Jericho, the other Chris, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. Yeah, I know. I don't know if we can say Benoit. We can say Chris Benoit on a podcast.
Yeah.
As a wrestler, not as a dude.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, Edge, King Kong Bundy, WrestleMania 2, Kurt Angle, football player Lawrence Taylor, Mick Foley,
Lawrence
Mr.
Taylor.
T. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor main evented WrestleMania 11 for some reason.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Mick Foley, Mr. T, Paul Orndorff, Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, Ronda Rousey, Sergeant Slaughter, Sid, Ted DiBiase, The Miz, The Ultimate Warrior, and Yokozuna. And that concludes the game, unless you guys are dying for the last category, but I don't know.
At this point, I think we've run this podcast long enough.
Yeah, probably.
What, out of curiosity, though, was the last category?
The last category has fought for a singles world title match at WrestleMania. Yeah, it'd have been a good one.
Indeed.
Well, yeah.
But we will leave it there for now. How did you guys do in the game? The listeners, let us know in the comments below where you like and subscribe and do all of that fun stuff that we do here on the YouTubes and I guess Spotify too.
Spotify podcasts. And follow our Instagram.
Follow our Instagram. Follow our the other one, the Twitters. We're on the Twitters. I'm great at plugging.
Twitter is at DisplayShelf Pod. Instagram is at DisplayShelf Podcast.
That probably would have been excellent information. Yeah. Thank you for listening. I have been Garrett. I'm, of course, with Isaac.
Thanks for listening.
And Jacob.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for listening.
And for the Display Shelf Podcast, we hope to see you soon.